I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really white and nerdy. Last year at MIT, got skills, I'm a champion of D&D.
Well, good morning, and welcome once again to the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are live everywhere, I hope, and on tape delay in Baltimore. No. I am just kidding about that. Anyway, welcome to the show today. We've got some great guests lined up that are going to be on the program with us. Let's see. I can delete that. I can delete that. We've talked about that. We did that yesterday. Okay. Today, it looks like that my calendar hasn't updated. So let me do a refresh here. Oh, that's because I'm not looking at today. Pastor Monty Lavelle from First Methodist Church is going to be joining us here in about 35 minutes or so. Some exciting news from the church, so we'll be sharing that with you. We have our Haven of Hope update for the month of February coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll hear from Carol at the Artesia Senior Center. We'll have Candace in from the Ocotillo for our weekly update. And then hopefully everything's all squared away. We'll be able to chat with Michael Redman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center, as he is always got great information about the history of the country or Artesia and all that good stuff. So we've got that coming up today. We have posted the FFA chapter speeches. It is FFA week. That's going on this week. National FFA Week is going on. So if you go to KSVPTV.com, KSVPTV.com, right there on the main page, if you scroll down just a bit, you'll see the row of icons for some of the other channels that we have. And then right below that, you'll see the Good Morning Artesia channel, the 2023 FFA Week chapter speeches, and then the Mornings with Mike Winters feed. And there are 16, I believe Tanner said 16, 13 or 16 chapter speeches that are up there for you to be able to watch. So we've got Addison Fulmar and Greenwood Aubrey Prince from the Goddard FFA, Ava Blankenship from Cloudcroft, Avonlea Hoops from Carlsbad. We've got more Cloudcroft, Artesia, Bryce Bain, Brianna Bradshaw from Cloudcroft, Bryce Bain from Artesia, Callie Bennett, hope I'm saying these names right, Chance Bones, Gracie Rand, who's from Artesia, Grady Moss from Hagerman, Jean Vasquez, or Gene Vasquez, maybe it's Gene. Oh, it's Gene. From Roswell FFA, Jordan Hamill from Artesia FFA, Lucas Medina from Cloudcroft, Madison Mancha from Artesia, and Taylor Salter from Artesia. So these are all of the chapter speeches. These are speeches that were given a couple of weeks ago in Roswell at Eastern New Mexico University. It was a competition. There is chapter and green hand speeches, depending on which age group they were in. And Tanner, our producer there in Roswell, set up the green screen and the studio and did all the videotaping. And I was told they either, the students would either go in for the video for a final practice and then go in and compete, or they would compete and then come back to Tanner and record when it wasn't so much pressure on them to do a perfect performance. But anyway, they're up. So if you go to ksvptv.com, right there amongst the morning show video clips, you'll see the Good Morning Artesia, the FFA, and then the Mornings with Mike Winters clips. And so they're up there to watch. And what we may do, I think I'm going to do this. This is what I was thinking about this morning, Jeffrey, is I'm thinking about scheduling each one of them so that every 10 minutes, starting at like 7 o'clock Saturday morning. So it's 7 o'clock, 7:10, 7:20, 7:30, 7:40, 7:50, 8 o'clock, and so forth. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So over a 2.5 hour period of time, Saturday morning, they'll pop up and they'll hit Facebook, they'll hit YouTube, and do all that. So I think we'll schedule that for Saturday morning. If you don't want to go and watch them now, if you want to just wait till you get a notification, they pop up and they go live on Facebook or YouTube's, we'll do that. So looking forward to watching all of those. I haven't seen them yet. Like I said, Tanner did the recording, and I knew he was doing the editing, and he got them all finished up and uploaded last night. And they look good. They look great, what he was able to put together for our FFA students as part of National FFA Week. And you'll see the logos from our sponsors who made that all possible. So thank those folks. When you watch the videos and you make note of who the sponsors were, they'll rotate through on the video clips there, and then just make a note and be sure and say thanks to those folks for helping to make that happen here on the radio and on the TV. So, all right, is it going to be as windy today? Got pretty nasty yesterday. And look, up at the interstate, I-40 was closed. I don't know if they've opened it back up yet again. I was looking at some live video from Flagstaff, Arizona, and they've had some snow and cold up there, and it's just been kind of a cold area. So let's get Steve-O in here and see what kind of forecast we're going to be dealing with here today. Steve?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looking a little bit better today with high pressure moving back in behind that cold front. Not quite as windy, but it still will be a little bit breezy. Wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Sunshine today and mid to upper 60s. Overnight, mid 30s and a few clouds, and then we'll be getting sunshine and warmer temperatures on Friday. Back in the low 70s. We'll stay in the 70s for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Wow. So they have an app. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is called NM Roads. I apparently did not ever get it on this new iPad that I have here. So I'm searching for NM Roads, NM, whatever. I had to type in New Mexico Department of Transportation, and then it popped right up, NM Roads. So it's like, really? What a crazy deal. Okay, I'm not driving. And let's see. Let's look at the road. No, I don't need that. Okay. And then it's only works one way on your on your tablet. Let's see. Which one do I want to do there? That's the one I want to see, I think. Anyway, right now in Artesia, yeah, what do they have up there at Albuquerque? See, I-25 North Mile. Is that because of the snow? Oh, no, due to a crash. Okay. It looks like the the interstate is open. Gallup area, I-40 westbound from mile marker 16 to mile marker 26 at Gallup is closed. That was last updated at 5:42 last night due to severe weather in Arizona and the I-40 closure at Holbrook. So what they did was they shut down the interstate going west out of Gallup because they didn't want people driving into Arizona because a lot of the roads in Arizona were closed. And so I think once they get everybody up and about and start to get the roads clear and everything, they'll start doing that. I got a picture on one of the groups that I'm in of Sandia Crest. And so Jeffrey's posting a picture, if you're watching online right now, that's a picture of the gate going into the communications facilities at Sandia Crest. And so that's what it looked like yesterday, 5:39 p.m. Yesterday afternoon up on Sandia Crest. And apparently some of the, not the bigger ones, but a couple of the smaller communications towers came down as a result of the wind and the ice and the snow and everything. But that's a pretty impressive looking picture from Sandia Crest up above Albuquerque, New Mexico yesterday afternoon as a result of that storm blowing through New Mexico yesterday. And I say blowing through because we had a lot of high winds yesterday. Right now it's sunny and 44 degrees in Artesia, New Mexico. Our humidity is at 57%. The dew point is 30 degrees. Our winds are out of the south at 9, gusting to 16. We are going to have some gusty winds this afternoon, probably in the low 30s and upper 20s from around 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning until around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. But then the wind should finally die down after 6 o'clock tonight. So that'll be good. And Friday's looking real good. If we get any wind at all, it'll be gusting to 22 early afternoon on Friday. And then on Saturday just looks like a normal day. We might have some gusts to 20 sometime Saturday afternoon, but not anything terrible like what we've seen yesterday and the day before. Our humidity, let's see, we did that. Our pressure, 29.99 and rising. Our air quality is good at 41. We will have a sunset at 5:49 this afternoon. We will have a sunrise at 6:31 in the morning. Sunny and 45 in Carlsbad, 39 in Roswell, 45 in Hobbs. Around New Mexico, it's mostly cloudy, 27 in Albuquerque. Windy and 27 in Cloudcroft, and they're going to continue to see winds through 4 o'clock at least this afternoon. Right now in Cloudcroft, it's 17 miles per hour out of the west-southwest with gusts to 43. Ruidoso is windy and 29 degrees. Farmington is cloudy and 24. Hayes and 8 at Red River. And then it'll warm up into the low 20s and snow this afternoon in Red River. Mostly sunny, 34 in Clovis. In Lubbock, it's sunny and 44. Partly cloudy and 41 in El Paso. It did it again. How does this do this? I'm going to have to send an email to Tim Cook and tell Tim that he's letting me down. See, Santa Fe, I do right after Albuquerque, and Las Cruces, I do right after Ruidoso. Okay, now we're done. So every time I open up the app, it's rearranged my weathers, and I don't like that. Cloudy and 21 in Santa Fe, mostly cloudy 41 in Las Cruces, and again here in Artesia, we've got sunny skies and 44 degrees. I'm going to have to do that. Barbara Streisand got a hold of Tim Cook and got Siri to properly pronounce her name. If she can do that, I can certainly get a hold of Tim Cook and ask him to fix my weather app here. Okay, let's see. Lunch menus. That's what we do next. And for lunch today in the Artesia schools, well, for breakfast today, PB&J sandwich. Lunch today will be chicken fajitas, refried beans, lettuce, and tomato, Jell-O with fruit. So chicken fajitas for lunch today in the schools. At the senior meal site, roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, green beans, roll, and tropical fruit. So it's roast beef with gravy today at the senior meal site. At the senior center today, low-income tax rebate assistance, 9 to 11 and 1 to 3. JJ Home Care will be there to do the blood pressure checks. That's at 10 o'clock this morning. And there is a dance tonight, and Marilyn will take care of the music for you tonight. So that's coming up tonight. There are dance lessons tomorrow night at the senior center, and classic country will be doing the music on Saturday night at the senior center. So the dance tonight's music by Marilyn. Saturday night's dance music is classic country. Library, 11 o'clock. They're having the toddler move and play. That's for ages 1 to 3. The Kitchlet Book Club will be meeting at 1:30 this afternoon. If you've read the book, come on out for the discussion. The book is Cooking for Picasso. So hopefully you've read that book or are finishing up this morning, and then join them at 1:30 for the book club discussion. And then the STEAM after-school program at 4 o'clock, grades K through 6. Science experiments, rock blocks, Lego circuits, coding games. That's at 4 o'clock this afternoon at the library. Schools today are celebrating National FFA Week today. Tomorrow is Friday. Okay, what's going on here? There it is. Tomorrow, Friday, Grand Heights Smile Day with Smile Expressions. JV Baseball is in a tournament on Friday. National FFA Week continues, and tennis on Friday is at the Wildcat Remix in Lovington. Also on Friday night, and we'll know who they play after tonight. But also on Friday, it's not on the schedule yet, but it will be, boys and girls basketball. The boys are going to be taking on the winner of tonight's game, Goddard at Portales, and the girls are going to play the winner of tonight's game, Portales at Lovington. So that's those are the games that are tonight, and the winners of those games will come out to Artesia tomorrow for the district tournament championship games. The girls' game will be at 5:30, and the boys' game immediately following around 7 o'clock or so. Birthdays today. Bob Bishop has a birthday today. Maria Garcia. Amy Jo Russell. I bet that's Amy. It's not just any Joe Russell. It's Amy. I bet it's the Joe Russell. And so those are the birthdays that we have for you today. I bet it's Amy. It's got to be Amy. Would anybody have named their kid any Joe? I bet it's Amy Jo. Anyway, Bob, Maria, and hopefully Amy Jo having a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, and everyone having a birthday today from all of us here at KSVP. So there you go. Let's take the first break of the hour, come back with some other stuff going on around town when we come back.
Eddy County is a proud supporter of FFA. Not everyone drives a tractor to work in the ag business. Today you could be a drone technologist, a hydrologist, in research, in IT, a mechanic, or a vet, to name a handful. Eddy County supports FFA because it promotes citizenship, personal growth, and career success. Visit agexplorer.com to learn more about FFA-related career paths. The FFA creed is learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve. Join Eddy County in saluting each and every FFA member for their dedication and service to our community.
Hi Artesia, it's Cambria from your local KFC and Taco Bell. You've asked for it, you craved it, and now it's back. That's right, pot pie is back for a limited time. It has all the flavors you crave, flaky, buttery crust, creamy filling, vegetables, and full of chicken. It's sure to satisfy all your cravings. Get it now for just $5. Have it for lunch, a midday snack, or even add it to tonight's dinner menu. It's perfect for any time of the day. Stop in soon for one of our famous KFC pot pies for just $5. Only for a limited time and only at your local Artesia KFC Taco Bell.
Call them a family band. Finnegan Blue is coming to the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia Friday, March 3rd at 7:30 p.m. The band leapfrogs through a mix of their own toe-tapping originals and traditional Irish and bluegrass covers, even a little New Orleans. All hot-wired by Finnegan Blues Energy. Adult tickets are $35. Kids K through 12, $10. Purchase your tickets now at artesiaartscouncil.com. Finnegan Blue, March 3rd, 7:30 p.m. at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia. Don't miss it.
When it comes to your business, Big O Tires knows how important it is to keep your commercial vehicles moving. Why not take your fleet vehicles to the team you trust? Big O Tires has a wide tire selection, offers quality automotive services, and provides priority appointments. With over 60 years experience, our technicians will get your operation back in action quickly. Roll into Big O Tires, your one-stop shop for all your commercial vehicle needs.
When you run a small business, your hands are full. PVT can help. PVT Business Solutions partners with local companies to provide high-speed internet, managed Wi-Fi, business phone systems, security, surveillance, and automation systems, and more. PVT helps your business stay connected with your customers. PVT Business Solutions gives you the tools not only to keep pace, but to grow and become more efficient. Find out how connecting with PVT can help your business grow by calling 575-748-1241 or visiting pvt.com.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees. So that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Hello, I'm Jordan Hamill, your New Mexico FFA District 5 President, State Vice President, and a proud member of the Artesia FFA chapter. National FFA Week is February 18th through the 25th. As an FFA member, I have experienced a lot of amazing things in FFA, but my two favorite things are attending National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, and meeting new people that will be some of my best friends forever, and getting to spend time with my team, as well as celebrating New Mexico FFA members on their accomplishment. And my other favorite thing is the Artesia FFA Pie Auction. Here, we get to make pies with our chapter and auction them off to raise money to be able to go to events. During FFA Week, I'm excited to share my experiences and my passion for FFA as we share it to thousands of people traveling across Mexico. New Mexico FFA serves more than 5,300 members in more than 85 schools across the state. I invite you to join us during National FFA Week to celebrate FFA and show your support of agricultural education and the future of agriculture. For more information about the National FFA organization and National FFA Week, visit nmffa.org.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. I am puzzled. I was looking for a... Yeah, it's the nose. She's got to fix her nose, by the way. I think you know who I'm talking about. She's got to fix her nose. It's like, yeah, she got to fix. If she does that, she'll come off better when she does her crazy press conferences. I was looking for a story because Fox. I got the notification that Fox was had a camera video streaming, and Mayor Pete went to Ohio and was touring the wreckage of the train derailment. And so I watched a little bit of that. You couldn't hear everything that was being said, but you kind of got an idea of some of the stuff that was being discussed. And so I went to the Fox News website to say, okay, is he giving a press conference? Is there an update? Have they released any additional information? Do we know any more about what caused the wreck and what they're doing? And while they're there, trains blowing through on those tracks. Alana's been asking me for a few days, and I've been kind of curious too. Did they get the tracks repaired? Are they open? Are they running trains back through there? And yes, they are. It's so while he was walking away, they were showing him the actual part of the train that failed, and one of the DOT guys, I don't know if the National Transportation or the Railroad Safety Board folks, I think they were there. DOT people were there. Federal Railroad Administration people were there. People that have been on the scene, they've been working with the railroad, and so they were showing Mayor Pete, here's what failed, or here's what we suspect failed, and yada yada yada, and while they're walking back away from that part of the location, so that the doorman can open the door on the limo for Mayor Pete, train goes blowing through there, and so yeah, they got the line open and they're running trains through there. We got to get our stuff. You got to get your stuff. You got to get your cereal. You got to get your crap from China. You got to get it. We got to get it on the trains. We got to get the trains moving because we got to get that stuff to the Walmart and to the Amazon warehouses. I mean, how upset are you when you click and it says, 3 to 4 weeks delivery? You get upset. You start looking for other sources and other vendors. You actually get up off of your butt, get into your car, drive to the store in Artesia, and look to see if you can find it locally. So we got to get those trains going. Anyway, stuff going on today. We've got I mentioned this earlier, toddler move and play at the libraries at 11. Steam After School is at 4 o'clock today. Vitalent is in Carlsbad today, taking blood. They are at the Skeen Whitlock Building in Carlsbad, and they're probably almost there. Going to get set up, and they're going to start taking blood at 8:30 this morning until 1:30 this afternoon. Tomorrow, they're going to be here in Artesia. They'll be in the meeting room at Hotel Artesia, 1:30 to 5:30 tomorrow afternoon, and then they'll be accepting blood donations on Saturday at their offices in Rosberg, number 3 Grand Avenue Plaza from 1 to 3:30. If you are available and want to see if they have a time that fits your schedule, call or text Stephanie, 575-840-8178. That's 575-840-8178. Eastern New Mexico University has a new chancellor. His name is Dr. James Johnston. They're having a reception for him and his wife Stephanie in Roswell today, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Anderson Museum of Contemporary Art. Ahead of that, the Branch Community College Board of Eastern New Mexico University Roswell is having a work session today at 4 o'clock in the Campus Union Building, room 102. It is Thursday, so Widows Might, a support group for widows at all stages of grief, meets tonight, 6:30 p.m. at West Main Church in Artesia. A lot of excitement in town as everybody's getting ready for the Women of the Word Conference, Root and Bloom, which is this weekend, Friday and Saturday, 24th and 25th. They'll begin Friday evening at 6, Saturday at 9. The events will be taking place at First Baptist Church in Artesia. Hannah Hagelstein, Jules Moen, and Caitlin Garrison are the special guest speakers. There'll be other breakout sessions, lunch on Saturday. If you're coming in from out of town, they've got special rates at a couple of the hotels here in town. So visit womenofthewordnm.com, womenofthewordnm.com. They've also got a, what's it called, Facebook? They've got a Facebook page, so you can check that out. Sunday evening is a very special concert will take place at the Estelle Yates Auditorium. Tony Melendez, his A Gift of Hope concert performance for the public. He's in town this weekend. He's going to be doing some things over at the church and so forth. But if you want to see his performance Sunday at 5 p.m. at the Estelle Yates High School Auditorium, and it's a free community concert. Now, what's unique about Tony? Well, he was born with a club foot and no arms. But at 16, he taught himself to play guitar. He is an accomplished singer, composer. He has performed in all 50 states and in 45 countries. One of his special honors was being able to play for Pope John Paul II in 1987. So his free concert is coming up Sunday night, 5 o'clock, here in Artesia at the Estelle Yates Auditorium. Roswell has a couple of events going on this weekend. Sunday Fun Day will be Sunday afternoon at the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. 3 o'clock in the archives at 208 North Lee. John LeMay will discuss the real history and folklore that went into crafting his newest mystery novel, Once Upon a Time in Fort Sumner. And includes tales of a surviving Billy the Kid meeting with the governor in 1950, plus legends of the Navajo Skinwalker and the lost Adams Diggings. So that's Sunday Fun Day. It'll be Sunday, 3 o'clock at the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. American Legion Post 61 in Roswell is having a special ceremony on Sunday. They are going to honor the 4 chaplains from World War II who gave their lives to save many of the soldiers on the troop ship Dorchester in February of 1943. So this special ceremony is going to take place at 3 o'clock on Sunday at First United Methodist Church in Roswell on the corner of 2nd and Pennsylvania. So that's going to be taking place Sunday afternoon in Roswell. So that is what is going on. Also, if you have a recycled art item, be working on that now, because next week they're going to start accepting those entries. And the Dave Bonneau Photography Show and Contest, you can start submitting entries for that. They'll accept entries through March 2nd at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. Okay, let's see what else is happening around the world. We've got Kim Commando, and Eric Butler has dug up some sports for you next.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A new report suggests more funding should be provided to Southeast New Mexico for road repairs and upkeep. 2 projects alone, repairing about 60 miles of State Road 128 and New Mexico State Road 31 from Eddy County to the Texas state line, would cost an estimated $335 million. The study was conducted by the National Transportation Research Project. According to the study, rebuilding 4 driving lanes, alternating passing lanes, bridge replacements, and intersection improvements were badly needed. A Carlsbad man has now been ordered to serve 14 years in state prison for exchanging sexually explicit text messages and pictures with a 9-year-old Florida girl. 79-year-old Billy George West admitted to the charge of enticing a minor. He was sentenced Wednesday. West also admitted in court that he knew the girl was a minor. Police in Palm Beach, Florida, contacted police in Carlsbad about the case in April of 2021. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
What's in a name, a reputation to bring you service and quality? What's in a name?
At Lowell's Pharmacy, we're ready with your flu shot. Flu shots prevent millions of illnesses and flu-related doctor's visits every year. Getting the flu shot has been shown to reduce the risk of having to go to the doctor with flu by 40 to 60%. So take time to visit Lowell's Pharmacy in Artesia and get your flu shot.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. The Loving Falcons girls basketball team still surviving. Last night, defeating Jow by a score of 55-47 to move to 11-11 on the season. But they've got to play at Eunice tomorrow at 4:30. Last time they played against Eunice was last week, and they lost by 43 points. Meanwhile, the Carlsbad girls basketball team will be in action tonight at home against Clovis. That starts at 6 o'clock. Carlsbad 23-4. Clovis is 19-7, but Carlsbad has beaten Clovis in their 2 regular season meetings. The Carlsbad baseball team got started over the past weekend, defeating Oregon Mountain 8-3 and 6-3, sweeping the Twinville, and they're back in action today in the Hobbs tournament, taking on El Paso El Dorado. That starts at 6 o'clock tonight. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
The cost of simply using the internet is going up, as virtually every social media site now wants your money. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Social media was simple. Use their site, watch their ads, and the ads paid your way. But now they also want your money. Facebook and Instagram plan to charge $12 a month for basic service. For $15 a month, they'll monitor your account to help fight hackers, plus you'll get a live customer service agent. No word on how long you'll have to be on hold. Twitter Blue wants to verify you for $11 a month. Snapchat wants $4 a month to allow you to see photos and graphics. Dating app Hinge wants $60 a month, while Tinder works on a $500 a year plan just to use the app. And there's this. Uber is about to charge $10 a month to simply use the app and summon a ride. You still need to pay for the ride, too. Hey, be sure to get my daily longer podcast. It's called Kim Commando Today.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Tim, we need to talk. I just can't get over that rate increase from Verizon and AT&T last year.
We'll switch to T-Mobile and get their price lock guarantee. They won't raise our rates for talk, text, and data ever.
Oh, we're switching today.
Switch to T-Mobile and get 4 lines for $25 a line with our price lock guarantee. We won't raise the price of your rate plan for talk, text, and data ever.
4 lines for $25 per line with autopay, plus taxes and fees. $5 more per month without autopay. Price lock for qualifying services excludes taxes, fees, select promos, and third-party services. See T-Mobile.com for details.
Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. Funeral services are scheduled for 10 a.m. this morning at St. Anthony's Catholic Church for Pamela Esther Peters of Artesia, New Mexico. Ms. Peters died February 15th at Artesia General at the age of 68. Father Francis Lazier will officiate at the services. Burial will follow the services at Twin Oaks Memorial Park. A rosary will be held at 9:30 this morning at St. Anthony Catholic Church. Once again, funeral services, 10 a.m. today at St. Anthony's Catholic Church for Pamela Esther Peters of Artesia, who died February 15th at the age of 68. This listing has been presented as a service by Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia, where we make it personal. Steve-O, is it going to be windy today? Let's look at our forecast.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looking a little bit better today with high pressure moving back in behind that cold front. Not quite as windy, but it still will be a little bit breezy. Wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Sunshine today and mid to upper 60s. Overnight, mid 30s and a few clouds, and then we'll be getting sunshine and warmer temperatures on Friday. Back in the low 70s. We'll stay in the 70s for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All right, right now in Artesia, it's sunny and 46. If you're watching online, the image that we have is from, I think Jeffrey said, from Farmington, one of the highways, New Mexico highways up in the Farmington area. So you can see they've had some snow and some road issues up there. Sunny and 46 in Artesia. Our humidity is at 53%. The dew point is 30. Our winds are out of the south at 10 with gusts to 19. Our pressure is at 30.00 and rising. Our air quality is 41. We have good air quality. Had a high yesterday of 67. And the Continental Divide, US 550 at the Continental Divide. That's what we're looking at right there. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Let's see, pressure is 30.00 and on the rise. We had a high yesterday of 67, a low of 39. 1 year ago, we had a high of 72 and a low of 17. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are between 45 and 44 degrees. Carlsbad, sunny and 47, 42 in Roswell, 47 in Hobbs. Mostly cloudy, 28 in Albuquerque. Cloudy skies, a chance of snow, and 21 in Santa Fe. Windy, and 28 in Cloudcroft, 30 in Ruidoso. Mostly cloudy, 42 in Las Cruces. Cloudy and 25 in Farmington. Haze and 9 at Red River. Mostly sunny, 36 in Clovis and in West Texas at this hour. Sunny and 46 in Lubbock, partly cloudy and 42 in El Paso. And again, we've got sunshine, 46 degrees here in Artesia. At least we're not looking like they are up there at the Continental Divide. All right, take a break. We'll be right back.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The S&P 500 extended its losing streak to 4 sessions as Wall Street ended broadly lower on Wednesday, with investors cautious despite the latest guidance on rate policy from the U.S. Central Bank showing few surprises. Minutes from the Federal Reserve's meeting said that almost all Fed officials agreed to slow the pace of increases in interest rates to 0.25 percentage point. Norfolk Southern on Wednesday became the third major freight railroad to offer some of its employees paid sick time, announcing a deal with one of its unions in response to workers' quality of life complaints. The agreement to provide about 3,000 track maintenance workers with sick time offered some positive news for the railroad as it works to clean up the mess after its fiery derailment in eastern Ohio earlier this month. Toyota said on Wednesday it would accept a union demand for the biggest base salary increase in 20 years and a rise in bonus payments. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
In volatile times, it's natural to worry about your retirement.
Hon, I'm worried about our retirement account.
With today's economy, it just makes sense to keep your retirement money close to home with people you know. We have several guaranteed safe options. Peace of mind with retirement savings. It just makes sense. Western Bank of Artesia. Member FDIC. It just makes sense.
The presiding judge of the Roswell section of the Pecos River Stream adjudication has issued an order allowing owners of a water right in the Roswell Artesian Basin to file their claim to an earlier priority date if the owner can show that their water right was related to a prior use of surface water. A copy of the order can be obtained from the district court or the office of the state engineer. If you believe that you have a claim, you are urged to contact your attorney for legal advice. If you receive a show of cause packet, you must respond within 60 days of the date of receipt. You may also contact the office of the state engineer for additional information.
Holy guacamole! The best guacamole in the Pecos Valley is at La Fonda Restaurant in Artesia. Holy guacamole! Everything is coming in fresh by the truckload. Avocados, green chilies, jalapenos, tomatoes, and onions. The makings of our signature salsa, golden fried chili rellenos, and of course our guacamole. Holy guacamole, what are you waiting for? La Fonda Restaurant, 210 West Main in Artesia, with plenty of parking off Highway 285. Holy guacamole!
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham, presented by the Coalition of Christians for Biblical Creation and Fulkerson Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. CCBC is an interdenominational coalition of Christians from Artesia who believe that the account of origins presented in Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you by Fulkerson Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your best bet yet for great service. For over 41 years, thousands of customers have chosen Fulkerson. Call 622-1600 or visit www.fulkersonplumbing.com. Now, today's Answers with Ken Ham.
The colorful sea slug. This is Ken Ham, CEO of Answers in Genesis, Popular Creation Museum, and Ark Encounter. Sea slugs, called nudibranchs, are born with shells but lose them as they grow up. Why would they give up this protection? Well, some sea slugs actually eat stinging animals like anemones or jellyfish, and then instead of digesting the stinging cells, they push them to the surface of their skin. They're used for defense. Others eat poisonous sponges and become poisonous themselves. Now, it's difficult to imagine how this could have evolved by chance. After all, it would have to work the first time, or you have a, well, dead slug. No, these sea slugs were created by God to survive in a fallen world, a reminder of His goodness.
Plan your visit to the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter when you go to AnswersRadio.com and listen to this program again or view a transcript at AnswersRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and we've invited Pastor Monty Lavelle from the First Methodist Church to join us. Good morning.
Morning, Gene.
Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing here? Oh, that little thing has to be red. Then we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
Behind the scenes, you would think I would know after all this time how that stuff worked. So,
well, that's my wife wants one of those buttons to mute me. So,
well, don't. If she figures that one out, she's going to be set for life.
She will be.
Yeah. Well, I asked Pastor Lavelle to come in because the church has a vote this week and has kind of some big news to make, I guess.
Yes, and again, thanks for having me on this morning. Tuesday night, our church met in a church conference. It was led by our district superintendent, and church voted on Tuesday night to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church, and then we also voted after that to unite with the Global Methodist Church. So we are still Methodist, but I guess we're taking the United out of that. We're First Methodist Church now, and it's a for me it's a bittersweet kind of a thing in many ways, because after the vote, and I was asked to close the congregation in prayer, and I looked out there and, looked at the faces of all of the people that had gathered there for this meeting, and I said, I'm thankful for the United Methodist Church. I'm thankful for what it's done for me, and I look out there and see people, some with tears in their eyes because they've been United Methodist all their life, and children had been all baptized in the United Methodist Church, and so there's a sense of sadness, that we are leaving that. But for me, there's a sense of excitement, too, in the future, and uniting with a body that we believe that is going to be holding us and one another more accountable to teaching the truth of the gospel. And so it's bittersweet, and there's a lot of churches within our district that are going through this discernment phase and in the process of discerning, and some have already voted like we have to disaffiliate. So it's a time of transition.
It sure is. We've seen this across the country in a number of different faiths that are having these discussions. Are there some? Well, why would one want to leave the United Methodist Church? What were some of the factors?
That's a good question, and there's not a simple, easy 1-minute answer to that. There's a lot of different things in that. For me, it is mainly theological, and holding firmly to the faith that we profess. I believe that the doctrines of the United Methodist Church are solid. When you look at the doctrines of the United Methodist Church and the Global Methodist Church, they're really the same doctrines that we've had as Methodists since the founding of the Methodist Episcopal Church in 1784. They're the same, but there has been a lack of, I feel, and this is my feeling, a lack of accountability in holding our bishops, our pastors, our seminaries accountable to those doctrines. When I became a United Methodist pastor, I was asked by the bishop, have you studied our doctrines and polity? And I said, yes. And he said, well, will you preach and uphold them? And I said, yes. And every United Methodist pastor has been asked those questions. And yet we are at a place where some of our core doctrines they're not upholding them. And that's not all United Methodist pastors, not all United Methodist bishops, but there has been that lack of accountability in saying this is what we believe, and let's hold one another accountable to teaching, preaching, and maintaining these things. And so, the Global Methodist Church is a new denomination. Is it going to be perfect? No. I mean, I don't think there's probably that perfect church out there or denomination. But I do feel that there is going to be a greater sense of accountability. My wife and I and another member of the church attended a conference in Lubbock 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a convening conference of the West Plains Conference of the Global Methodist Church, and there was just a great sense of excitement in this new movement. And that's one of the things that they kept saying. This is not just a new denomination; it's a fresh movement, and really that's what the the Methodist Church, or the Methodist movement was from the very beginning. John Wesley, our founder in the faith, was from the Church of England, the Anglican Church. He never changed. I mean, he was always Anglican until the time he died, but he birthed a movement that was called the Methodist, and it brought great renewal to the England at that particular time. That spread to America, in the early days of our history, and that Methodist movement spread here, and it was really the need to have be able for the people to have the sacraments of baptism and Holy Communion that led to the founding of the church here. And so it's a movement, and I think that's what we really need, within America, is just a fresh movement of God in our midst. And so I'm excited.
Yeah. So for you personally, how does this will you continue to be the pastor here at Artesia, or how does this change your situation?
Well, that's always up to the board. Right now we're planning on staying. We feel like it's a good fit for now. And in the Methodist Church, there's always that appointment process. The appointment process is going to be a little bit different. I think going to be more transparency in the Global Methodist Church, but that process is still there. So yes, we are planning on staying here, and I want to see the church through this. And the other thing that really blessed me on Tuesday night, and actually going back to Sunday, the close of our worship on Sunday, we sang "Bind Us Together," and people just crossed aisles and joined hands, and we sang that song as our closing hymn on Sunday. And after the vote and everything on Tuesday, we sang "They Will Know We Are Christians by Our Love," and I was standing up front by the district superintendent, and when I turned around and looked, everybody had crossed aisles and joined hands again. And that blessed me to see that spirit of love. We didn't all agree on everything there, but we joined hands and said, let the love of Christ flow through us, and that's what we want to be. A congregation that loves one another, congregation that loves those who come in, and that we can show them a love of Christ.
So how will the name of the church change? Not very drastically, just a...
No, I mean, the meeting we voted, to be First Methodist Church, and maybe we needed to have some more discussion on that, but I think a lot of our leaders, and really, people know us as First Methodist Church. Even in the community, a lot of times, well, let's go to the Methodist Church or First Methodist. The United. A lot of people haven't ever put the United in there, and so I mean that's still who we are going to be. First Methodist Church. We're going to be the Methodist Church in Artesia. And glad that we can be a part of spreading the gospel here in this community.
And is this movement, as you describe it, is this going through other churches in southeast New Mexico? You mentioned there had been some votes and that some are thinking about doing this.
It is. We are part of the New Mexico Conference, which takes in all of New Mexico, and then our conference takes in Odessa down to Fort Stockton over to El Paso. We have been aligned with the Northwest Texas Conference, which is pretty much the panhandle of Northwest Texas. Our bishop has been over both of those conferences. The Northwest Texas Conference voted last year, and I would say that probably 85 to 90% of the Methodist churches in the Northwest Texas Conference disaffiliated from the United Methodist Church, and most of those joined the Global Methodist Church. There's some of them went independent. Some of them are still kind of in that discerning process of what they are going to do. Within our district here, the eastern side of the state, the Clovis district, there's probably 38, 39 churches, and I would say that at least 30 of those are in the discerning process. Right now, there's probably been about 10 that have had to vote, and all of those in our district that have had the vote have voted to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church. Some of those are still in that discerning process of, whether they're going to unite with the Global Methodist Church or what they're going to do. But I think most of them probably will.
So it'll be interesting to see how this proceeds over the next few months. But moving forward,
yes,
it is First Methodist Church.
Yes,
and this church in Artesia is now part of the Global Methodist Church.
That's correct.
What's the word? Denomination or group? Or
I would say denomination.
Denomination. Okay.
And the Global Methodist Church, they launched in, I believe it was May of last year.
So this is fairly new.
Yes,
then.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, and it's they've already had probably 1,000 churches uniting with them already, and it's global. I mean, there are churches all around the world as a part of that, and I know some would have probably preferred something other than the Global Methodist Church, But John Wesley, he said, the world is my parish, and he had that vision of wanting to be, a pastor, preacher, evangelist to the whole world. And so I think that's part of the reason for the name, that we will have a global impact. And already, I mean, the Philippines, I can't name all of the countries that already have churches in there, but it's a worldwide movement.
Sure. And the First United Methodist Church, now First Methodist Church, has supported different outreach programs around the world. I'm sure that's going to continue.
Yes, it will. And a lot of my preaching is not going to change. I mean, I'm still going to continue to preach, the way that I have, and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, and that's not going to change. But I do believe that I am uniting with a body that is where there is going to be more accountability. And our conference, the New Mexico Annual Conference, will meet in May the 20th, and they will have a special session to vote on all of the churches that are choosing to disaffiliate. And so everything's not official until that vote in May. But we are moving forward and just excited.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for coming in. This is church is important in a community like Artesia, and when any church makes a decision like this, it's people talk about it and want to know about it, and so I'm glad you're able to come in and share this information with us.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me.
And I've got to go through and change all of my everything for our radio broadcast,
yes,
right?
And us too.
So we'll work on that and get that all taken care of. So we're happy to do that. Pastor Monty Lavelle of the First Methodist Church of Artesia, thanks so much for coming in. We're going to take a quick break and head to news next.
Retaliation after the earlier deadly raid in Nablus. Israeli forces had entered the busy old city in the morning in what they said was an operation to arrest a number of wanted Palestinians, and were quickly caught up in a gun battle with armed fighters. Several Palestinian gunmen and civilians were among those killed.
The bloodshed extends one of the deadliest periods in years in the West Bank. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Supreme Court is weighing arguments over whether social media giants are liable for a deadly terrorist attack in Turkey.
The court seems skeptical as to whether Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube can be held responsible for a terrorist attack claimed by the Islamic State that killed 39 people in a Turkish nightclub in 2017. Plaintiffs argue the tech giants aided and abetted the attack because they helped ISIS grow by spreading their message. During arguments Wednesday, several justices indicated there was no evidence linking the social media companies directly to the incident. A decision is expected by the end of June. The Supreme Court heard a related case on Tuesday. Edwin Mora, Washington.
A former NFL running back says he is on the road to recovery after he almost died while saving his 2 kids from drowning in the Gulf of Mexico. Peyton Hillis thanking those who helped him following the January 4th incident on Pensacola Beach. He was released from the hospital in mid-January. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Can't you see I'm wide and nerdy? Look at me, I'm wide and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. I'm just too wide and nerdy. Really, really wide and nerdy.
Class here at MIT, got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin, to the contrary. You'll find that they're quite stationary. All of my action figures are cherry. Stephen Hawking's in my library. My MySpace page is all totally pimped out. Got people begging for my top 8 spaces. Yo, I know pie to 1,000 places. Ain't got no grills, but I still wear braces. I order all of my sandwiches with mayonnaise. I'm a whiz, a minesweeper, I can play for days. Once you see my sweet moves, you're gonna stay amazed. My fingers moving so fast, I'll set the place.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for joining us here on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. It is Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, and we appreciate Pastor Lavelle joining us in the previous segment, and we'll get that edited and posted here a little bit later to we'll make that we'll get that up there so that you can go back and watch that and share that, and that's that's big news in a little community like Artesia when a church makes an announcement like that or takes a vote and then makes a decision like that. So, and I think this is the type of theological discussion that's happening in a lot of churches across the country right now, and it's all part of our broader cultural battles that we're having in a lot of sectors across the country. And I'm not saying this has never happened before in the history of the country. I think these are things that have happened through the generations. But this is what's happening now, and so we're obviously aware of it and reporting on it and talking about it, and we'll see where this takes us. Let's see. The FFA week continues, and we have available now, if you go to ksvptv.com, we have posted, I think it's 16 of the chapter speeches that were given by members of the FFA in this district, in this region here recently. And this was, we've kind of done this now for a number of years. We celebrate FFA week by recording these chapter speeches and putting them out there, and also recognizing some of the other aspects and contributions of agriculture to our county, our state, our economy, and so forth. So if you visit ksvptv.com, ksvptv.com, right, and if you don't see it, refresh your page, because I just updated this this morning. But you should see right below the icons from the schools that distribute their content through our platform, you'll see the Good Morning Artesia show channel. You'll see the FFA Week chapter speech channel and the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. So it's right there on your screen. If you don't see it, refresh your page and it will appear. And you can see there's 4 pages, depending on the size of your screen and how it's oriented. But there are a bunch of chapter speeches from FFA students from all across the region. We have Artesia FFA, Goddard FFA, Cloudcroft FFA, Carlsbad FFA, and I think, yes, Hagerman and Roswell. So Hagerman, Roswell, Goddard, Artesia, Carlsbad, and Cloudcroft are all represented with chapter speeches from their students, and the topics are very interesting because it's a hodgepodge of topics that are top of mind on the news today. The truth about hemp production. May want to watch that. Hydroponics, growing stuff in water. I think I know what that is. Factors that impact ag trade in the U.S. How to sustainably lower high food costs. The importance of ag trade to society. Disney and ag, a powerful partnership. Disney and ag. Ag tech, foundation for the future. Farming sustainably. Fossil fuel reduction prevents global warming. That's one of the speeches, chapter speeches. How nuke tests affected New Mexico ag, and I think I'm going to watch that one. That's Gracie Rand from Artesia FFA. We all know about the atomic bomb that was set off outside of Alamogordo that led to the bomb that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end World War II. But did you know there were some other nukes? And then the downwind effect, the people that lived in that part of New Mexico were called downwinders, and the medical impact that it had. I'll be interesting to see if Gracie talks about that and how nuke tests affected New Mexico ag. Let's see. This one is farming technology, ag, and COVID-19. That's probably a pretty good topic to listen to. HYPP kills horses. Dissolving fear around ag tech. Selective breeding. Ooh. And motor vehicles. Motor vehicles is a topic that is covered in these chapter speeches. So if you find time over the next few days, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be up there for a while. Go to KSVPTV.com, KSVPTV.com, and click on and watch the chapter speeches, and you heard the topics. There's some great and interesting and very topical topics that are discussed in those. All right, Steve-O, let's get some weather here, and maybe Jeffrey will have an image from around the state of New Mexico. Let's take a look and see. Steve, what's our forecast?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looking a little bit better today with high pressure moving back in behind that cold front. Not quite as windy, but it still will be a little bit breezy. Wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Sunshine today and mid to upper 60s. Overnight, mid-30s and a few clouds, and then we'll be getting sunshine and warmer temperatures on Friday, back in the low 70s. We'll stay in the 70s for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve-O. It's sunny and 48 degrees today in Artesia. The humidity is at 49%. The dew point is 30. Our winds are out of the 11. No, out of the 11. What am I talking about? They're out of the north. No, they're not. They're out of the south-southwest at 11, gusts to 22. What is on my mind right now? Our winds are out of the south-southwest, gusting at 11, gusting to 22. That's what I'm trying to say. Pressure 30.01 at rising. Our air quality is 41, which is good. We had a high yesterday of 67 and an overnight low of 39. 1 year ago, our high was 72 and our low was 17. Our minimum 4-inch soil temps are between 44 and 45 degrees. Sunset will be at 5:49. Sunrise will be at 6:31. Around the region, it's sunny. 49 in Carlsbad, 45 in Roswell, 50 in Hobbs, America. Around New Mexico, mostly cloudy, 29 in Albuquerque. Cloudy, chance of flurries in the next hour, 22 in Santa Fe. It's windy and 28 in Cloudcroft, 31 in Ruidoso. Las Cruces checking in, mostly cloudy, 43. Cloudy and 26 in Farmington. Haze and 10 at Red River, and flurries expected around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Mostly sunny, 38 in Clovis. Sunny and 49 in Lubbock. 43 in El Paso, and again here in Artesia, we've got sunny skies, and we've warmed up to 48 degrees. All right, quick break. Our next guests are waiting to join us. We'll be right back.
PVT gives you a smarter home with PVT security and home automation, powered by Total Connect. Connecting with PVT allows you to protect, monitor, and control your home quickly, conveniently, and from anywhere that you have an internet-connected smart device. PVT's offices and technicians here in southeastern New Mexico provide peace of mind with a security or smart home solution for every budget. Call PVT today at 575-748-1241 or visit pvt.com. Make sure to ask us about our contract buyout program.
It's the Big Meat Savings Sale at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. Meaty pork shoulder, country-style ribs. Family pack, $1.49 a pound. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts, previously frozen, $1.69 a pound. Del Mar frozen raw shrimp, 1 pound, 36 to 40 count, $5.99 each. And choice boneless beef arm roast, family pack, $3.69 a pound at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Coca-Cola select flavors, 20-pack cans, $10.49 each at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. And everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Double Up Days are back at Roswell Honda, and that means double your tax refund up to $2,000 right now. $1,000 gets you $2,000, $1,500 gets you $3,000, and $2,000, well, that gets you $4,000 towards your next vehicle at Roswell Honda, and that's on every make and model across the lot. Bring in your tax refund and let Roswell Honda double your refund up to $2,000. Now's the time to make your dollars go even further, and it all starts right here. Double Up Days are back at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Plumbing, air conditioning, heating, gas lines, sewer jetting, refrigeration, ice machines, RO systems, water softening, sheet metal fabrication, duct cleaning, residential and commercial. Crouch does it all. When you find yourself in need of assistance, give the experts at Crouch Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning a call. The Crouches know quality matters, and they'll find the best solutions for your situation. That's 575-746-3782 for Crouch Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, serving all of Eddy County since 1967.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizer. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Dean's Inc. of Artesia provides a superior choice for all your electrification, communication, and supply needs, with a vision to be the premier industrial electrical service provider in New Mexico and West Texas, providing unparalleled quality in supplies and service with highly skilled and conscious personnel. We pledge to our customers to exhibit the utmost in integrity and reputation while providing superior quality in all we do. Dean's Inc., located at 409 Commerce Road, or online at deansinc.com.
Yeah, Jeffrey's here demonstrating his perception of Apple technology. Since he doesn't have Apple stuff, he broke away.
Oh, I did not realize.
Yeah, he left us. Well, I don't know if you have iPhones or not.
I'm on the dark side. I have an Apple.
Apple Watch, Apple phone.
Apple Watch. I've seen a few folks have gotten the new, the big Apple Watch, and I'm thinking about getting one of those. But they're like $700,
Oh, yeah.
and this one still works. And so why would I go get another one when I have one that's a perfectly good? So I keep trying to get this one to stop. My watch broke. I need a new one, So, but I can't get Lana to turn hers on. You ever use the walkie-talkie function?
No.
No. I can't get her to turn that on her watch because there's a walkie-talkie built into
So you
this.
could talk through the watch to each other?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So Jeffrey, I don't think can do that with his
Samsung.
whatever that is. So
Brand X.
Brand X, that's right. So, and I don't have any stock, well, at least that I'm aware of. Maybe I do. Anyway, Haven of Hope segment is on the radio now, and
It's the Anita and Rebecca show.
it's Anita Braun and Rebecca, and so glad you could be here. And you forgot to text your mom and let her know you were on today.
I forgot, yes. So, hi, Mom. Sorry. I'm sure you're listening.
Hi, Miss Williams. How are you?
We will all see her tomorrow night, right?
Yes, taking tickets.
Taking tickets at the basketball game. So, you've been working on a list of frequently asked questions.
We have been.
And I think when we've had the radio conversations from time to time, at some point in time, we always say, when you're out meeting people and talking about Haven of Hope, what are some of the more common questions that you get asked? And I'm assuming this is from those conversations.
It is. And there may even be some that have not been asked of me specifically and pointedly, but things that we do want to bring out, like if I'm in a wheelchair or my child is in a wheelchair, can Haven of Hope accommodate me? And the answer is yes. When the building was being designed, there is an ADA bedroom, bathroom suite. Our kitchen and our laundry room is all ADA accessible. So that's something I don't know well, we haven't had any applicants at this point who needed that feature, but we're ready for them.
Mm-hmm. So that's good to know, because that is important for some women who may be considering filling out an application and wanting to live at Haven of Hope.
Right. We don't want to keep someone out because their child has special needs. We want to be welcoming to all.
Mm-hmm. The very first question I see on here, is Haven of Hope a halfway house? And you've talked about this before.
Right.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
No.
Qualified applicants do not have a felony on, we do background checks. Felonies do not show up on our successful applicants' background checks. So,
yeah,
that's one of the first things that
on their successful application checks.
Yes. And I mean, we had to have very strict guidelines, and so that is one of the starting points. We've always talked about women need to be working or going to school or both to qualify. They're showing us their motivation to to be successful. They just are being hampered or hindered by finances or financial decisions in the past.
Mm-hmm. But not the criminal aspect of things. That,
if it's expunged and I don't see it on a background check, apply.
Yeah, well, that means they've served their debt to the society and do that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I understand there is a no visitors policy in the cottage.
You understand correctly, sir.
Can I leave to see my friends and family? So I'm assuming this is somebody who's thinking about living there.
Right.
They're learning about the policies, but they want to see their friends, so they can't have them over.
They can't have them over at the cottage.
But we encourage and we want people to stay connected to their friends and families and have a full life. And that means leaving our property.
Mm-hmm.
Without asking permission.
Yeah, they do not have to ask permission. Rebecca is in the cottage as the family life coordinator, and she's mentoring. We want to know they're going to be gone for several days, like maybe a long weekend. We're both moms. We don't want to worry that they're dead somewhere in a ditch. We just want to know where they are, but we don't need to know their business.
Yeah. Has that happened, though? Have you... can I go to the store? Can I go here? Can I go...
I think it's with people not understanding the rules, like...
They're brand new.
They're brand new, yeah. Like, just don't understand. And I'm like, you don't have to ask my permission to go. You're good. You're good. Go. I'm not going to babysit your kids.
Well, that's probably an important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is one of our processes, that we do not provide babysitting or child care. So that's mom's responsibility.
So if mom can get a babysitter or arrange for the child care, then whatever.
Yeah,
but that's part of the learning,
right?
The responsibility of that on it. I'm sure this has been asked a lot. Is Haven of Hope a domestic violence shelter?
The answer is no. Artesia is blessed to have Grammy's house, so they can take care of that segment of the population who's haunted by that part of their life. Now, just because domestic violence has been in someone's life doesn't mean they won't be accepted into Haven of Hope, but they are currently in danger and need to be protected. We are not the place for them, and we can't protect them the way they need to be. So please contact Grammy's house.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the function of Haven of Hope being that type of a facility. Are the mothers allowed to have relationships while living in the college? I keep saying college, I'm sorry. Cottage. That's an interesting question because are many of these applicants coming from family situations where there's been a separation or a divorce and they're, for lack of a better word, stuck with the kids? Or
Well, everyone comes to us from a broken relationship somehow or another. But we're not a nunnery. You know, we expect people to have full, vibrant lives. And if relationships develop, that's great. It's just not going to happen on our property because of our no visitor policy.
No visitor policy. That's right. So, okay. Let's see. I'm co-parenting my children with my former partner. Do I qualify to be a resident?
Yes, and we encourage and support that. It's very important for children to have both parents if possible. It's difficult, it's challenging, but it's best for the child when it's possible.
Okay. So that's an interesting question. I'm sure you've had that because it's on the on the list here. Does Haven of Hope pay for me to go to school?
No.
No.
No, we don't.
But Rebecca is an incredible resource and a guide to getting connected to how we can get enrolled in school, how financial aid can work. She might not know all the ins and outs, but she knows who to ask. And she takes our residents to the schools herself and goes through the process.
So you've helped out some of the residents so far?
Yeah.
We have one woman who is in her second semester of college full-time, and others are thinking about it, looking at different options available to them. But Rebecca's been right there.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Where do some of the residents wind up attending? Is it local?
Yeah, she's going to the Roswell campus.
Okay, of Eastern. Okay, and of course there's what do they call themselves
Southeast
now?
New Mexico College.
Southeast New Mexico College down in Carlsbad. So they still have their nursing program down there. They were really big with their nursing program for many, many years. I don't know if that's still.
I think so, but I don't know. I mean,
it's above my pay grade to know that answer.
I hear the ads. I should pay more attention, you know. Let's see here. I'm just going through some of the questions. If I miss one in particular that you want to ask, that just let me know. Do you accept men in your program?
No, our mission is to serve single mothers.
Right.
But that is a question that's probably asked most often.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess because I've talked to you and know a little bit about it, that wouldn't come to my mind. But I guess if you don't, if you're not familiar with what Haven of Hope is, that may be a question that you could have. Let's see. What else did I miss here?
Well, something that's not on here.
Okay.
That there could have been space for. We don't serve the homeless population. Our vetting process takes several weeks to make sure someone we feel like they will fit in and check all the boxes. And if someone's homeless, they have an acute need. They need a place to sleep tonight. And we're not that place.
Right.
We do our best if someone calls to lead them to other resources in our community or Carlsbad, Roswell, somewhere in the area that can possibly help them. We get those calls often from people that are having issues with homelessness.
Sure. I know in Chaves County they've started I think it's 211 is a phone number to call. I don't know if
That's nationwide.
That's nationwide. So when you call that number, that resource helps find specific resources that are beneficial to you. I didn't know it was I guess I knew it was a nationwide deal. Mike did an interview with some of the folks in Chaves County that we aired recently.
Well, and Eddy County has that now too. I think we were the last county in New Mexico to get a 211. I believe is what I read about that. But that's a wonderful resource.
Sure. But that, for a homeless person, that's a resource. That's a number to call for that, and you'll help them.
She doesn't necessarily catch the phones like I do or my administrative assistant does, but people do reach out to Rebecca personally because she's a native of Artesia. Everyone knows her and knows where she works and knows she's a good girl. She'll answer the phone.
I text.
There you go. She'll answer your text.
I'm a little better at
I
the
don't know your
texting
number
too.
and you leave a message. I do have my voicemail set up, which is something I've learned with the younger generations that they don't do, which blows my mind. But yes.
You're saying they don't leave messages?
They don't have their voicemail set up to where you can leave a message.
This is true. This is true.
That's something I learned at Haven of Hope. Like with these new moms, I'm like, you don't have a voicemail. How do you know what people wanted when they called you? Okay.
I see they called and I called them back, or a text.
Or they didn't text me.
They didn't text me.
Yeah.
So they must not have needed me.
That is an interesting thing.
It's very.
Well, I'm not a young person, but I text all the time. That's probably the best way for folks to
100%
communicate with me, because they'll leave
like a
messages, and
business.
sometimes I'll call back. Most of the time I do.
Right.
Every so often I don't, but I usually always see a text.
Yeah. But a business, it's becoming more popular for them to have a way of texting you, but
Yes.
like if the bank is calling you, they're not gonna text you. You gotta call them back.
No, I've got email.
Helpful.
I've got an email from
email
from the bank, which I also get on my phone.
Right.
So all that's interesting.
It's just an interesting little. I'm like,
So you're learning.
I'm learning
from the residents as well, aren't you?
Yes. Well, how to teach etiquette and returning phone calls.
And that's a soft skill, life skill. That's something that needs to be understood.
That's right.
And just because you're in your 20s, not everybody operates the way you do.
No, that's true. And so you have to be ready. So,
but then also learning, and I'm learning to it too. Okay, just text.
Well, I have a couple of people I work with. Many times I'm the same way. They have their voicemail set up, but they never listen to it. So I'll call Thomas, leave a message, and then he'll call back and, did you get my message? No, I just saw you called.
But that's the best thing about the Apple is my iPhone is I don't have to listen to the message. I can read it like a text message.
Yeah, unless they have a accent.
Oh, true.
And then it's gibberish.
But that's how I text.
I have done that too, especially in the truck. The voice to text, and Lana will be with me, and she says, "Do you want to send that?" I said, "Yeah." Then they'll know it's from me. Here's a question: does it cost anything to live at Haven of Hope?
Yes. We charge a minimal, really nominal $50 a month fee to live at Haven of Hope. But that you don't pay rent, you don't pay insurance, you don't pay utilities. We take that pressure off people while they're living with us. That allows them to relax, focus on their future, think about their careers, focus on their children.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't sleep because you're scared to death, the next phone call is going to be from a bill collector, and you're not going to answer that text.
That's probably why they don't have voicemail.
Yeah,
to be truth.
It could very well be.
Yeah.
But to answer that question, though, the answer is yes. It's $50 per month.
Okay, so there is an obligation. There is a rent. It's just not like what they're probably having to pay in their current situation.
And when someone comes from paying, let's just say $1,000 a month in rent and utilities, and now it's only $50 a month, they can start saving immediately when they come into Haven of Hope. And we do require them to save a minimum of 30% of all income sources per month. And Rebecca checks that. And they're doing great.
Yeah, well, that was that. I don't think that's one of your questions on here, but But yes, are they required to, as they're getting their financial life in order, is savings a part of that plan?
Yes.
It starts with month one.
Starts at month one. So,
Yep.
and you've said the percentage, so that's how that's determined. Let's see. Have we missed any of the questions here? Can I take my children to their babysitter or daycare provider away from the cottage?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, it's a requirement that they do that. We don't allow others in because of the visitor policy, right?
So they can't have a babysitter come in to babysit the kids at the cottage?
No.
And you're not babysitting kids?
And I'm not babysitting.
Now, I will, the caveat to that is on Monday nights when we do our community learning classes for our moms, Rebecca does arrange for volunteers whose backgrounds have been checked to come in and watch the children while the moms are taking their hour-long classes.
Okay.
That's the only caveat to that.
Okay. So not even in that situation will you babysit the kids?
I mean, I'll fill in if I need to, but no.
But you're helping out with the classes that are
sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes with the classes.
Sometimes I have to fill in, though. But.
And sometimes she has a child she's raising, and they're busy with sports and activities, so she has a life.
I know we've talked about this before. The question, can my teenage children live with me in the cottage? And you kind of have an age window when they apply for living at Haven of Hope, right?
So we do take teenagers. If a mom is applying and she has a child that's 19, we're not going to accept her and the child. She has younger children. Yeah, the younger kiddos can come in. But let's say she has a 16 or 17-year-old. We could, if they qualify, we could accept them. They could age through and stay with us. We would make that exception.
Okay. And I think you've said that before.
Now, something that's not on here, and was another topic altogether, is we're still recruiting for families.
Okay.
We thought we were going to be full this month, but it's looking like we're going to have 2 rooms available.
Ah, okay.
So, if there are people that feel like this is a need that we could help them with, please reach out to us. Our website's easy to remember. It's just havenofhopenm.com. Our contact info is there. Our application is on the website. Just go right there, Haven of Hope NM.
Because I think the last question on the sheet is how many families can live at the college at one.
You did it again, Gene.
How many people can live there?
And the answer is 5 to 6 families can live comfortably in the cottage.
Okay.
Yes, we have 2. We actually have 6 bedroom bathroom suites, but 2 are adjoining for larger families. In fact, this last family we thought we were taking in was another large family, and they will be taking 2 rooms. But it looks like they found another situation that's better for them, so that's why we have 2 rooms open to us.
Okay. And so go to the website, havenofhopenm.com. Then you can see the application, and a lot of times you'll hear from people that know somebody that might qualify, or maybe the applicant themselves.
Right.
But go ahead and go to the website, read more about it, learn more, or ask questions, and then try to encourage. And again, the program is for single moms
and their children.
And some of the basic requirements. They have the mother
has to be 18 years old or older, custody of at least 1 child, working or going to school or combination, have their own transportation and car insurance, have a clean criminal background check.
That's probably a big one right there.
I think every one of them could be a big one for someone.
Everyone,
if
well, of
someone
course.
doesn't have a car, there's, how can we work around that? But yeah, everything can be a good thing or a bad thing on that list.
So, very good. Was there anything else that we needed to talk about today?
No, I think the big thing is that asking our listeners to help us find families that we can help. We're there and ready to take in 1 to 2 more families.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad there's space available, and things are working out well. And are you going to give any presentations in the upcoming weeks, or if somebody needed a refresher or an
my
updated? My
presentation calendar is pretty open right now, so we are available to come in and visit with you. We are having an event in October, so if you'd like to save the date, October 21st is going to be our very first fundraising event.
Okay.
So mark that calendar.
All right. Should I write that
Saturday,
down?
Please, yeah. Mark it down. I know how your memory is.
Well, no, it's our. It's however good the technology is. Well, we'll be glad to help out with that in any way we can.
You.
So
thank you.
Keep us in the loop, as they say, or somebody says. Does anybody say that anymore?
I do. I'm old.
What do they say nowadays?
In the know?
I am not hip at all. So
clearly, I'm not. So that helps out. Well, good. Well, is there anything else that we want to share with folks today?
Becca, do you have anything?
Not off the top of my head, no. So.
No, I just appreciate all the people that are volunteering with us and have signed up in interest cards. We are finally getting our data system up and running, and I was looking at a report the other day. We have over 60 people who have signed up to volunteer in one capacity or another.
Oh, that's great.
It is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to see that. So thank you all. And we still have more opportunities for volunteering right now. Again, go to our website and we can get you hooked up.
Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Yep.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you. This month flew by fast.
It's crazy. It needs to stop. Slow down for just a little bit there. So, all right, we're going to see what else is happening. I'm tangled up with my headphones here. We'll see what else is next in the news. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A new report suggests more funding should be provided to southeast New Mexico for road repairs and upkeep. 2 projects alone, repairing about 60 miles of State Road 128 and New Mexico State Road 31 from Eddy County to the Texas state line, would cost an estimated $335 million. The study was conducted by the National Transportation Research Project. According to the study, rebuilding 4 driving lanes, alternating passing lanes, bridge replacements, and intersection improvements were badly needed. A Carlsbad man has now been ordered to serve 14 years in state prison for exchanging sexually explicit text messages and pictures with a 9-year-old Florida girl. 79-year-old Billy George West admitted to the charge of enticing a minor. He was sentenced Wednesday. West also admitted in court that he knew the girl was a minor. Police in Palm Beach, Florida, contacted police in Carlsbad about the case in April of 2021. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. The Loving Falcons girls basketball team still surviving. Last night, defeating Dow by a score of 55-47 to move to 11-11 on the season. But they've got to play at Eunice tomorrow at 4:30. Last time they played against Eunice was last week, and they lost by 43 points. Meanwhile, the Carlsbad girls basketball team will be in action tonight at home against Clovis. That starts at 6 o'clock. Carlsbad 23-4. Clovis is 19-7, but Carlsbad has beaten Clovis in their 2 regular season meetings. The Carlsbad baseball team got started over the past weekend, defeating Oregon Mountain 8-3 and 6-3, sweeping the Twin Bill, and they're back in action today in the Hobbs tournament, taking on El Paso El Dorado. That starts at 6 o'clock tonight. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The inflation fight far from over. Moderna's outlook grim. Tesla expanding in California. Those stories next. Lou Dobbs here for the good folks at Lone Star Transfer. If you felt like booking your timeshare was difficult in the past, you know it's recently been almost impossible. Most clients are shocked to learn their timeshare is now available to the public, severely limiting their booking options. Many owners have also reached out, upset their yearly dues have nearly doubled during this maintenance fee season. For well over a decade, this family-owned company has had the pleasure of helping over 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. With an A-plus rating at the Better Business Bureau and over 900 five-star testimonials, their clients know they can trust Lone Star Transfer. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability in your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Call my good friends today for a free no-obligation consultation at 844-284-4739. That's 844-284-4739 or online at LoneStarTransfer.com. Fed minutes confirm interest rate hikes will go on for the foreseeable future. Policymakers committed to lowering inflation to their target of 2%. The Fed noted recent evidence showing prices easing. Still more proof of sustained disinflation is needed. Live Nation reports earnings after the closing bell. Ticketmaster's parent has drawn negative press from a recent Taylor Swift presale debacle. Fans sued alleging antitrust violations. violations, the stock down 35% over the past year. Moderna earnings forecast lower again. The vaccine maker continues to face challenges as the pandemic eases. Earnings are expected to drop as much as 96% over the next year. Tesla's stock continues to rebound and just announced its new engineering headquarters to be located in Silicon Valley. Please join me 3 times each weekday right here on this station. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
This is Jason Espinoza with today's Capital Report. Created in 1965 as a permanent bipartisan bicameral interim committee of the New Mexico legislature, the Legislative Education Study Committee is charged with conducting a continuing study of education in New Mexico, the laws governing such education, and the policies and costs of the New Mexico educational system, including the training of certified teaching personnel in post-secondary institutions. Additionally, they recommend changes in laws relating to education and make a full report of its findings and its recommendations. The interim committee is composed of 31 legislators appointed to provide proportionate representation from both houses and both political parties. Assisted by a permanent staff, the committee meets regularly during the interim. Current law restricts the interim committee from studies relating to early childhood education and post-secondary education. However, House Bill 216, sponsored by House Education Chairman Andres Romero, seeks to expand the scope of the work of the interim committee to include the study of New Mexico's entire public education system. The bill unanimously passed the House floor last week and has been referred to the Senate Rules Committee and then the Senate Education Committee for consideration. This bill is nearly identical to House Bill 25 from the 2021 legislative session, which was passed by the legislature but vetoed by the governor. For the New Mexico News Network, I'm Jason Espinoza.
Well, thank you, Jason. We appreciate that bit of inflammation there. So let's see. Let's do a weather forecast. Steve-O, what's happening out there? Is it going to be as windy as it was the last couple of days? You know, tell us.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looking a little bit better today with high pressure moving back in behind that cold front. Not quite as windy, but it still will be a little bit breezy. Wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Sunshine today and mid to upper 60s. Overnight, mid 30s and a few clouds, and then we'll be getting sunshine and warmer temperatures on Friday. Back in the low 70s. We'll stay in the 70s for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
So it's going to be breezy today, not as bad as the last couple of days, but about 10 o'clock, it's going to pick up a little bit. Right now, we've got sunshine 51. Our humidity is at 45%. The dew point is 30. Our winds are currently out of the south-southwest at 12, gusting to 27. And here in about an hour, hour and a half or so, we should see them gusting into the 30s. But not anywhere near as bad as we were in the 50s yesterday. Our pressure at 30.01 and rising. Our air quality is 41. We have good air quality. Sunset will be at 5:49. Sunrise will be at 6:31. Sunny and 51 in Carlsbad, 48 in Roswell, 52 in Hobbs. In Albuquerque, mostly cloudy, 31. Chance of flurries, cloudy, and 24 in Santa Fe. Windy, 29 in Cloudcroft, 32 in Ruidoso. Mostly cloudy, 44 in Las Cruces. Cloudy and 27 in Farmington. 11 at Red River. Clovis is mostly sunny and 41. 51 in Lubbock, 45 in El Paso. And again here in Artesia, sunshine, 51 degrees. Take a quick break and we'll be back with our next guest. Don't go away.
Artesia car enthusiasts, Artesia Chamber of Commerce, and Artesia Main Street bring you the 24th Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise 2023. Last year's record number of cars of all ages and sizes is sure to be beaten as we have expanded areas for vehicle display, added more food vendors, tractor row, and even a bike boulevard all downtown. We kick things off Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. for the Main Street Cruise from Bulldog Bowl to 2nd Street and back. Join us Saturday, April 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Artesia transforms into one of the hottest spots for car enthusiasts, residents, and visitors. Please come together to enjoy a weekend filled with music, cruising, friendly competition, and lots of fun for the whole family. Spectators are always free. For more information or to register your car, go to artesiachamber.com or stop by the office at 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The main event car show and cruise, Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st in downtown Artesia. And paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax. What's up, my fellow Americans? It's your boy, POTUS numero uno, George Washington. You know how I feel about lies, right? Not a fan. Well, you can get a great deal right now during the President's Day sale at Roswell Nissan with access to over 300 pre-owned vehicles, quality pre-owned trucks under $30K, and 10 grand off all new Nissan Titans when financed through Nissan. These are the lowest prices of the year. No cap, as the kids say. Come save a bunch of Washingtons during the President's Day sale. On now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd, or shop online at roswellnissan.com.
In volatile times, it's natural to worry about your retirement.
Hon, I'm worried about our retirement account.
With today's economy, it just makes sense to keep your retirement money close to home with people you know. We have several guaranteed safe options. Peace of mind with retirement savings. It just makes sense. Western Bank of Artesia. Member FDIC. It just makes sense.
Every spring, Southeast New Mexico College will be offering condensed 8-week classes for their students. Registration has begun for those second 8-week classes, which will begin on March 20th. To see the classes being offered, go to senmc.edu, helping you reach your education goals, one class at a time. Southeast New Mexico College, now registering for second 8-week class to begin March 20th.
Find your direction, Southeast New Mexico College.
At Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia, we understand the demands of everyday life, from work to school and all the activities in between. When you're on the go, you need the right transportation at the right time, and we can help. Let our professional sales team assist you in finding the right truck or SUV to handle your daily needs. From hauling kids to hauling equipment, we have the right Chevy, Buick, or GMC to make your life easier. We're here and ready to help today at Guy Chevrolet Company on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia or at guychevy.com.
And we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Hopefully I'll know the difference between college and cottage. I was having a terrible time with that, talking to the Haven of Hope ladies. It says cottage right there on the paper, and every time I'd say it, I'd say college.
Oh, hey, I read a friend sent me a notice the other day about somebody that had passed away, and you know, your heart stops because they said passed away. I read the first name and my heart stopped. Well, it wasn't that person, it was somebody associated, so I understand reading the wrong words.
Yeah, and what I've done the whole time I've been in radio, I read ahead. So I'm reading something and I'm reading ahead, and that's when I trip myself up sometimes, is I'll do that. Have you ever done the challenge? I forget who sent it to me. It was a poem or a story, and most of the words were missing.
Oh, but you can read it,
But
yes.
there were enough words there that the mind filled in the gaps, and I was able to read the story. And if I filled out the form, I could join their college for $39.95 a month. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. The College of Ad Lib or what?
That's right. So, anyway, we're getting toward the end of February and
we
looking to
are.
March. So
We're excited. This is our last day to do low-income tax rebates in the morning and afternoon.
Okay.
So starting next month, it'll only be in the morning. So if you haven't had your New Mexico low-income tax rebates done, come to the center this morning, 9 to 11 or 1 to 3. Something I needed to clarify. It says on those forms that you must be physically present in New Mexico for at least 6 months.
Okay.
I'm not going to fudge it. I'll give you the form. You do what you want. But you can't have just moved here and qualify.
Right.
One individual counted for me and counted January and February along with the 3 months they were here last year. I said, but that's 2 different years.
That's right.
We can't do that.
That's right.
So we're trying to help y'all as much as we can. So they're already there. They were lining up when I left. So 9 to 11, 1 to 3 today, and next month it will only be in the mornings.
Okay.
Remind everybody that J&J Home Care will be there today doing the little mini physical that they do. I just appreciate that so much. And then music tonight will be with Marilyn. So basically what it is you choose, she plays it. Okay?
All request
You can't
dance.
complain because the recording companies have spent millions of dollars to get those recordings correct. And it is what it is. Remind everybody that tomorrow night at 6:30 there's dance lessons, and it's for the men and the women.
Okay.
Right now we're still we're getting men 1 week, and they don't come back the next week, but the women come, and then they don't come back because there's no men. So let's see if we can get everybody, man and woman, come tomorrow night.
And what form of dance are these lessons?
She's pretty awesome and pretty flexible. It's a country right now. If they're beginners, she starts them out teaching them a 2-step. And then she can go to a waltz. But Chris can dance. So pretty much anything you really want to ask her for, if you're experienced, she'll take you where your capabilities are.
Okay.
She's real good.
Okay.
And she's real good with the beginners. What her goal is to get people off the couch, out of the house. It's free exercise, and then you get to meet other people, visit with a human other than that TV. If you're on the couch, it's the TV typically.
Usually,
or
that's
asleep.
Right. That's right.
Or
that's
asleep.
Right.
So come out to that. We do have a change on the dance for Saturday night. It will not be classic country due to an illness. It will be county line.
So they were available.
So not all of them. County line has gone above and beyond. Of course, the other 2 were already booked somewhere else, and part of his people couldn't come, so he's worked hard and got us some substitutes, but they always make good music.
Sure.
So there'll be some good dancing music. Come have fun.
So county line for Saturday night's dance.
County line Saturday night.
Okay.
We had a huge turnout, Gene, for our ribbon cutting for our exercise room. I mean, it was really nice. Really enjoyed it. I did not expect that many people. It was kind of overwhelming there for a moment.
Yeah, and that's become even more popular than it was before?
We have several new people to our center, or we have people that have joined years ago but haven't been back coming in to use the facility.
That's good news.
Husband and wife couple walked out the other day and said, this is a pretty classy place. I said, I'll tell my staff. Thank you.
There you go. That was nice to hear.
It was very nice to hear. It was very nice. The exercise room is awesome. I can't say that enough. The gentleman that helped us, and I haven't asked him if I could say his name, but from HFS, Holly Frontier Sinclair.
HF Sinclair.
Oh, HF Sinclair.
Yes.
He was there, demonstrated how to use the different machines, and then he said, Carol, we need to get you some more straps, because he knows what goes with these machines, and there's some different straps and handles to do, so I think we're going to be getting a few more straps.
Well, that's great. That's
do
great.
some things different.
Yeah.
One person was wanting to do crunches, and he showed us this machine. If you do it correctly, you can do crunches. He showed me several things about improper use. You could hurt your neck, you could do this or that. So if they're willing to ask for help, we can get them help and show them how to use it correctly, and everybody have a good time. But so far, yesterday I got tickled because the exercise room was full, and a person came in and said, somebody's on my machine. I'll be back later. And sure enough, the individual came back later because they like those machines. They're enjoying them.
That's good.
So that's really good. Thank you to the community that supported us and purchased all that. We're going to move to next month because Monday and Tuesday is our regular activities. Next month, 9 o'clock on Wednesday is our advisory council. It is open to the public. We've had a few people asking that. It is open to the public. So if they want to come sit in, we always leave the door open unless we're having music that's too loud in another room. We close the door, but you can still come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to remind everybody to get ready. Let's hope I don't jump the gun here. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 4th, the Moose Lodge will be having their green chili stew, which I thought sounded wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added cornbread to it, so that was even better.
Yeah, so we're, why would anybody want to miss that?
That's right, with peaches for dessert.
Yeah.
So, Gene, I want to thank you for having me. I will try to get those photos over because it was a nice turnout yesterday, or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey, my days are running together. Let me tell you, I talked to a gentleman from Canada this morning. I said, how are you? He said, oh, well, I'm okay. I said, well, what could we do to make your day better? He said, turn off this snow. He said, I'm sick of snow, and it's snowing outside right now.
Well, he lives in Canada. He should expect snow.
I'll trade you some wet snow for some wind.
There you go. Carol, thank you as always, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
This is KSVP Artesia. It's 9 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. More American boots may soon hit the ground on Taiwan.
America is expected to deploy between 100 and 200 troops in the coming months. The Wall Street Journal reports that the new troops would expand a current training program as the U.S. works to help Taiwan defend itself. China considers Taiwan part of its territory to be brought under its control by force if necessary, and has been stepping up its military and diplomatic harassment.
That's correspondent Ken Lorman. At 2.7%, the U.S. economy's expansion slowed in the final 3 months of last year. Big coast-to-coast winter storm making travel tough, if not impossible, for millions of people from California to the Northeast. Snow in a lot of places, freezing rain and ice elsewhere. Close to 1 million utility customers without power as ice brings down the lines. 3 people gunned down in Central Florida. A 9-year-old girl and a TV news reporter among the victims, and the suspect has a long rap sheet.
A reporter and a photographer with Spectrum News 13 were shot Wednesday afternoon while covering the shooting death of a woman Wednesday morning. The reporter died, and the photographer is in critical condition. Following the shooting of the news crew, the suspect shot a woman and her 9-year-old daughter, who died from her injuries. Police say the 19-year-old murder suspect has a lengthy criminal history. Keith Moses' criminal history dates back to 2018, when he was arrested as a juvenile for domestic violence. He's had over a dozen arrests since then, his most recent in 2021 for drug charges, which were dropped. When he was arrested Wednesday, he was seen smiling for the cameras. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Stocks holding on to modest gains on Wall Street this hour. Right now, the Dow is up 20 points, the Nasdaq ahead 9, the S&P 8 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
From the creators of I Can Only Imagine comes
If you look a little deeper, if you look with love, you'll see an entire generation searching for all the right things, just in all the wrong places.
Based on a true revolution.
You're going to need a bigger church.
Jesus Revolution. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. See it early February 22nd. In theaters everywhere beginning February 24th. Go to JesusRevolution.movie.
America is giving away its inventions and technology to China.
The Chinese Communist Party intends to surpass us and to be the world leader in innovative technology.
The shocking new movie, Innovation Race, exposes the potential Chinese takeover of 5G and the internet, threatening America's economic and military security.
Dominating technology means you dominate the world itself.
Watch the movie Innovation Race now on demand or DVD at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
An attempted murder investigation underway after an off-duty police officer was shot in Northern Ireland. The BBC's Emma Barty in Belfast.
John Caldwell has been the lead officer on a number of high-profile cases in Northern Ireland, including investigations into dissident Republicans and criminal gangs. The shooting happened at a sports complex in Omagh at around 8 o'clock last night as he was putting footballs into the boot of the car. Mr. Caldwell managed to run a short distance before falling to the ground. The 2 gunmen continued to fire at him. Police are linking dissident Republican paramilitaries with the attack. It has been condemned by local political leaders as despicable and cowardly.
Palestinian terrorists in Gaza launched rockets at southern Israel, and Israeli aircraft struck targets in the coastal enclave early today after a gunfight triggered by an Israeli raid in the West Bank killed 10 Palestinians. News and analysis at townhall.com. Norfolk Southern has become the third major freight railroad offering some of its employees paid sick time.
It announced a deal Wednesday with one of its unions in response to workers' quality of life complaints that arose during contract negotiations. The agreement to provide about 3,000 track maintenance workers with 4 days of paid sick time a year offers some positive news for the railroad as it works to clean up the mess after its fiery derailment in Ohio earlier this month. A union spokesman says the sick time will be especially welcome to the workers who are rebuilding the tracks after the derailment. The deal is along the same lines as one CSX and Union Pacific announced earlier this month. Keith Peters reporting.
Tomorrow marks the anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Europe's biggest conflict since World War II. It shows no signs of ending as Putin's forces push to capture Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Can't you see I'm wide and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. I'm just too wide and nerdy. Really, really wide and nerdy.
Class here at MIT, got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin, to the contrary. You'll find that they're quite stationary.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and it is hour number 3 of this Thursday, February 23rd, the 9 o'clock hour here in New Mexico. I think it's 9 o'clock in other parts of the world, too.
Yes.
But as far as we're concerned,
it's 9 o'clock here.
It's 9:06 here,
yes.
Where we are. I remember George Carlin did a bit, the 10 o'clock news. Mm-hmm. And, he starts out in California, it's 8 o'clock. In Denver, it's 7 o'clock. In Chicago, it's 6 o'clock. And in Baltimore, it's 4:33.
Oh.
They just had an oddball time. But anyway, I'm sorry to bore everybody with my old memories. Candace is here from the Artesia Arts Council, and we want to talk about what's going on in March.
Yes.
You've got some exciting concerts coming up, and you've got the...
do.
And I had the... I also was looking at the chalk art, or not chalk art, the...
charcoal
art
techniques
class
with Kirsten Mortson, yeah.
Got some classes coming up and things like that. So I'm sure you want to talk about some of these things. And,
yes. I will say I just checked it. Okay.
Yes.
So even if you don't have Facebook, you can access our Facebook page. It's a public page.
Yes.
And if you go to our events, our first show on the 3rd is in honor of St. Patrick's Day, which is Finnegan Blue. Mm-hmm. And if you go into the event and click on the ticket, it takes you directly to that.
From the Facebook page?
Yes,
okay.
to the event. I linked it directly to the event page. I am aware that the website is more broken than it was broken at the end of January. I don't know. They fixed it, and then it worked for a little bit, and then it broke again, and then they fixed it, and it was back, and then it broke again. And I am in contact with my website people to figure out what happened, and they're like, "We're so sorry." It seems to be not the website itself. Mm-hmm. We have a WordPress, and WordPress takes in other applications that you can add on to it to build your website. And ours is through WooCommerce, and it seems to be a WooCommerce issue, not our WordPress.
I see.
So
so I'm on the I'm on your. I hope I'm on the right Facebook page. Is this the right Facebook
Yes,
page?
that's us. And if you go to events, and then there's
events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see events.
They now have like you have to go more, and then events like through that top toolbar.
Okay, I'm an old person trying to. No,
They moved. No, it used to be really easy, and then they moved stuff away. Okay, so it only gives you a little bit. So scroll down a little bit.
See more.
Yeah. Maybe it will give you.
And this is a Facebook thing. It looks
Yeah.
different on phones than it does on computers.
Well,
it
and they
looks on-
moved everything,
Yeah.
and even to like create an event for a while, I had to like click 5 different places just to
events. There it is.
create an event. Yeah.
Okay, so there's your charcoal art techniques part
Mhm.
2, and there's Dave Bonneau photography contest. If I
Mhm.
click on see all,
Yeah. So yeah, we do have the charcoal art techniques coming up next week, and that's with Kirsten Moritzen. So it's a continuation of her previous workshop, but beginners are welcome. So we have that. Everyone really liked it, and then of course we are accepting entries for the Dave Bonneau photography contest right now. You have until the end of this month to get into your entries, so that way we can hang them, and then we could do all of the jurying and everything like that.
okay. And I see you tap and tap and tap, but eventually you'll see all of your upcoming
Mhm.
events, and there's the Finnegan Blue.
Yes.
And the photography contest. Now
Mhm.
the Hank Williams thing's not up there yet, right?
No. Hank Williams and my Hank Williams and my Honky Tonk Heroes. I have to get approval before I post all the things from the agent first, so that's why it takes me a little bit longer.
No, I
but it's starring Jason Petty, and he goes over Hank Williams and other men like Hank who influenced country music, and this is in honor of Hank's 100th birthday. Celebrating 100 years of Hank Williams. So,
I finally got there.
yeah. So the pages exist. I just have to link them a different way. And
They
so
go
I'm trying to
different.
come up with.
So when is the Hank Williams?
That's the 17th. That's replacing Glenn Miller.
Right. So that's March 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the month, the Thursday before the car show weekend, as a pre-car show event.
Jarabe Mexicano.
There you go. And that's on the 30th of March,
Mhm.
which is the Thursday.
Yes.
So yeah,
And I'm
see,
very-
I was looking at all this
Yeah.
stuff. And
No. And I've listened to like their YouTube videos and stuff, and they're really upbeat, really get you out of your seat kind of band. Very excited about them.
So those are the concerts that are.
Yes.
So you have the Finnegan Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to say Finnegan's Rainbow, but that's
No, Finnegan Blue, and
that's March 3rd.
Yes.
So that's next weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the 17th
Is the Hank Jr.
is
or Hank Jr. Hank Williams.
Hank and my Honky Tonk Hero, starring Jason Petty,
Okay.
and then Jarabe and Mexicanos at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if any of this technology is just driving you bat crazy, Just call.
And if we are between me and my assistant, we're either running around or helping someone. People also come in. You can also come in to buy tickets. Just leave a voicemail, and we will call you back. I promise. If you don't get us the first time, because it seemed, especially with the play, we had tons of people coming by. So if we're like running in a circle, the two of us, just be patient with us.
How'd the play go?
Good. We had 260 people total over the weekend, 110 on Sunday.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, is that good?
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Usually they're used to like that being our like senior crowd on Sundays.
Right.
But everyone's like, ooh, Sunday matinee, we're all for that. So
Yeah.
Sunday.
That's good. So who did poison the meatball?
The salad chef Amaryllis.
The salad chef. Why was the salad chef mad? I mean, everybody was mad at.
She was in love with Luigi, and Luigi was being blackmailed by Nero Sharp.
Got it.
So she wanted to free him from his blackmail, so she poisoned the meatballs.
Okay. See, I didn't get to go. Friday we had the basketball games, and then Saturday and Sunday I was doing my other weekend thing.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of fun, and then I gave the cast our next performance for fall of
Okay.
this year, And so, and that's something I'll work with you on because it's a radio stage play.
Well, we're in.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we're working on that, and I'm booking for next season too. But we're real excited that coming up is also Comic-Con. And so if you want to be a vendor for Comic-Con, the Comic-Con page is on our website. You can also call or email or message us on Facebook.
Okay.
Because we are looking for vendors, food vendors, whatever you want to sell. If you sell something specifically comic themed, great.
Yeah.
We're looking for those types of people too. We've got some game stores that will be doing gaming tables, some really awesome speakers, and our cosplay contest will take place at the on the stage this year.
Okay.
So
That sounds exciting. I know last year it seemed like you had a lot of Spider-Men.
yeah, Spider. Well, and Spider-Man
you had others.
just happened. The last Tom Holland movie, and then of course the Miles Morales Spider-Man were really, I think, really in at the time.
Right. Well, because there was the No Way Home or whatever was the last, and it had all the Spider-Man in it, or at least the last.
Yeah. So
three,
everyone was like Spider-Man, which is cool. I like Spider-Man. That's awesome. We did have a lot. Right now, it seems like Demon Slayer is still really big, the anime and stuff. So we'll see what we get this year.
Well, the Ant-Man movie is out. Or will be out soon.
Yes.
And Critical Drinker didn't like it, by the way. He didn't care for it.
Did you see, so they have gone through and re-scrapped things for DC.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. And so the
they had
new
a movie
Batman.
They canceled.
Yes. And so they're bringing back an original Batman from those 3 iconic Batmans.
Okay.
Which one do you think it is?
Well, there was the Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he do the first 2?
I think so, yeah.
He did the first 2, and then was he not in the third, or did he do the?
Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney.
Right, but and Val Kilmer did the Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Clooney did the one with Arnold.
Yes.
Arnold as the Freeze, but that also had Alicia Silverstone as the Batgirl. But that's not the iconic first 3, is it?
It's in that iconic set.
In that
so
set,
no, they're bringing back.
Yes.
Michael Keaton.
Okay.
As Batman.
He's a little older now.
I know, but I think it's like a continuation of like his line as Batman, which I think is actually really neat for people who are old fans of those movies to like, instead of bringing a wholly unfamiliar face, bringing back Michael Keaton. Well, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I think a lot of people liked him as
he's the favorite, I think.
Is the favorite. Although the Christian Bale series, the first movie was pretty good. Now, a lot of people like the second one because of Heath Ledger.
Okay,
and how he
so
played
I
the
will
Joker.
say, like, Heath Ledger made that movie. I am not a fan of I'm Batman from Christian Bale. Like,
well, he kind of got.
I'm not a fan of it.
The setup with Liam Neeson and the whole thing. I don't think he did the I'm Batman thing in that one. But as he progressively went to the others, and by the time he got to the third one with Bane, that was stupid.
So my mom loves film, and she's like, we're gonna watch a movie, and I think it was that last one with Bane. I blacked it off my memory. I hated it so badly. But she's like, we're gonna watch this, and she fell asleep on me. I was like, no, you're not gonna make me watch this by myself. Wake up. Wake up.
Well, what you do is you fast forward to the credits.
I didn't know where the remote was, so I made her wake up.
And then when she wakes up,
I was
just
like,
the credits are up there.
I was like, you're not going to make me watch this by myself? No, I refuse. I absolutely refuse. And I barely remember that movie because I just did not. I was not a fan.
So,
but I do.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do.
Like the Michael Keaton.
Like Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Well, with that being worked on, I wonder if that'll be a focus of some of the Comic-Con stuff that comes
so
up.
We'll see. It'll be really interesting to see what comes out, especially
now based on the Critical Drinkers recommendation. I actually watched the first episode of season 3 of Picard.
Oh, okay.
And that one, Riker's in it, Dr. Crusher's in it, and I think some of the other next generation characters are going to be in it. And he liked it. He said it was way better than the first 2 seasons of Picard, and it's a lot more of what people that remember.
Yeah. So I actually have a funny about that.
Okay.
So my husband watches like movies and stuff to go to bed. Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
And so he was watching like that Halo series that had come out. And so what happens is it just, when it's streaming that, it will go to whatever like the next available episode is in the series, and once that's over, like then it'll just go to a different series.
Okay.
So like all this stuff is happening in the Halo thing. I don't sleep well. It's on his we're out of town, and so it's on his iPad, not the TV, so I can't see anything, and I'm reading a book, and so like it goes from that to Picard, but the storylines are so like chaotically similar. I didn't like gather that had switched series, and so I was telling him, I was like, man, like y'all stuff, and I was like, and then I did glance over and see that it was, you know what I mean, the actors, but in my brain I'm still thinking it's the Halo, and he's like, no, he's like, I think it switched to Picard, and I was like, you would not know, because their storyline with the kidnapping and stuff, it was something along those lines, like was so similar that like you couldn't tell.
Wow, that's interesting. I had seen some not so flattering reviews of the first series, and then and for those that don't, Critical Drinker is a YouTube. Now this is not kid friendly. Don't.
Well, I was considering that he might be like drinking while being critical.
Yes, exactly.
Of film and TV.
It's a PG-13R language as he reviews these different movies.
Right.
But he seems to be a pretty smart screenwriter, or at least has some pretty good concepts of how screenwriting should be and how directing should be and how storylines.
That's actually really cool.
And how you're destroying, a lot of these studios are destroying these iconic characters from the past. He was not a fan of a lot of he's not been a fan of the Marvel Phase 4 and how that's gone forward. He's been very critical of DC and all this kind of stuff. And so when he first reviewed Picard, trash, don't watch it. And then he couldn't believe they came back with a season 2.
And so of course he watched it.
And then it's don't watch it, it's terrible. And then he watched, and so based on the fact that he watched the first 2 and said don't watch the first 2 when they said they were doing season 3, why do I want to watch this? But he went ahead and watched it, and he was very excited for the possibility of the direction that they've taken with it for season 3, that people might actually like it and watch it. But anyway, it's the Critical Drinker. He's got a YouTube channel, and he does other conversations with other people that review.
Yes, and if you like conversations like Gene and I, come to Comic-Con or come do something at Comic-Con, because you'll meet people.
I do the same thing though. I do watch things. Lana's gone to sleep. I can't sleep, and so I'll watch things. I watched a 1981 made-for-TV movie called Der Bunker. Okay. And it was the last 100 days of when Hitler moved down into the bunker and the end of the Third Reich. Anthony Hopkins played the part of Adolf Hitler.
Really?
And it was a very interesting, and I don't know that he makes a big deal out of the fact that in his career
he played Hitler.
Well,
and
but
they
it was
have
really,
that whole thing where they've released that documentary about him actually having gone to Argentina and not offing himself.
Yeah, well, that's...
and I'm like, wow, the Hitler saga continues. So it's just a whole thing.
Well, you have to watch, what was the movie? Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and what's her name? Stylized, almost like a comic book. What was that called? Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. And that kind of takes one of those ex-German scientists.
Angelina Jolie was in that, wasn't
Angelina
he?
Jolie, that's right. And
Angelina Jolie.
that takes kind of an interesting twist at the end. A lot of people didn't like that movie, but I've seen that 2 or 3 times. It's not bad. So Comic-Con, those where all of this kind of conversation and stuff takes place.
Like, we'll have some authors doing an authors panel to talk about writing. The library is going to be doing some crafts and some stuff over at their facility. We're working on an escape room this year. So if you want to be involved as a vendor, all the vendor applications and stuff are on the website. And if you're interested and you're like, ooh, I want to talk about writing or other things, like contact us. You can email me or call anytime. Yeah.
Okay. And that's in
May 20th, the third Saturday of May.
Okay. So it's after schools. No. It's after the state tournament weekend, and it's before
graduation.
Before graduation and Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah.
So it's that weekend before that. So.
Yeah, because usually people are having family come in, or there's like, they're looking for something to do right before graduation, and it's a really good weekend. It seemed to be really good. And it's during the day, people get out, have some food, hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just going back to March activities, the again, if you're having issues finding where to buy tickets on the website or through the Facebook page, just call.
Just call me. It's fine. We can that, and you know what? That's how people used to book tickets and stuff.
I know.
Like you call, you stop by. I am totally all about making friends on the phone. I do it every time on the phone, not on purpose. But yeah, just call. We'll have a good time. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So because you've got the Finnegan Blue on the 17th, or I'm sorry, on the 30th.
The 17th.
The third.
The third.
And
Finnegan Blue is the third.
It's the third. And then you have the Hank Williams
on the 17th.
17th, and then Jarabe Mexicana on the 30th,
Yes.
which is the Thursday before
For car show
weekend.
Yes.
Which I guess they're going to take over Main Street that Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of
I'm
fun to
excited.
see, because they had to turn cars away last year.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to have room for
a whole bunch,
for way more cars and all that. Anything else we need to talk about today?
No. Other than if you are doing the photography contest, that's on the website.
Okay.
Or you can call if you have questions, as well as all the stuff for Comic-Con's up, as also Art in the Park too. So you can already start applying for Art in the Park. We've had some. We're probably going to get a flood in over the summer, but don't forget about that as well.
That's usually in October?
Yeah.
Those dates are set?
Yes.
Those dates are set. So that'll be pretty, that'll be exciting.
Yes.
To do all that. Well, good. Did we cover everything today?
I think so. I think we had a really good conversation. Yeah.
I
got my nerd talk on. Love it.
Well, and I'm kind of like that too. I don't know. I have no life. I just go.
Well, I got.
Make sure the ball games are on the air, or go to
Yes.
the games and watch nerdy movies.
Yeah, nerdy. Lately, I've gotten quite a few compliments on our back and forth on Thursdays that people really like listening to the two of us. So that's been a lot of fun. So
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know what to. I don't know what I'm going to watch tonight, and I'll tell you who's at fault. It's those darn algorithms at YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's where this stuff pops up. These things pop up. Like there's a movie that popped up on the YouTube to watch. I haven't watched it yet. It's a 1979 movie, and it looks like it's a really awful sci-fi movie called Meteor.
Oh.
And I haven't read about it or watched it yet. There was another one, Battle of the Galaxy Stars or something like that, that came from that same era. And it had George Peppard and the guy that played John Boy and the Waltons.
Oh.
and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, this is terrible.
But those are the ones you're like, this is a train wreck. Why can't I stop watching?
And I watched
Where's
it
my
through
popcorn?
the end. And I'm like, why did I watch
did
this?
I do this?
But it came, Star Wars, when it came out in 1977, just kind of created this. All of a sudden, all the studios and the TV networks had to come up with stuff, and they didn't have the resources that Lucasfilm had created from the success of their first movie. So the special effects in the Star Wars movies, the Star Wars movie, if you look at its special effects today, it's pretty...
But for then, it was really groundbreaking, yeah.
So then you had, Buck Rogers in the 23rd century, and you had, what was the one, the first Battlestar Galactica series, the original one, and then you had these movies.
Yes. There's that one that I like where they're on the planet with the huge space bugs. And I can't think of the name.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about,
yes.
right?
Well, Neil Patrick Harris is in that one.
Yes, and it's just so awful, but you also just can't stop watching it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because they're the bugs, and then it's just so gory, when they attack.
Yes.
Yes, that one.
And then they bring in Neil Patrick Harris, and he mind melds with the queen bug, and everything's good again.
Yeah, that one.
What was that one called?
Oh my gosh.
That had so many. Because that had.
It had a lot of.
Well, that had such a Nazi feel to the way the military was portrayed in that. And you remember that big black leather coat that Neil Patrick Harris wore in
space
it?
movie with bugs.
Yes.
giant bugs.
I know which one you're talking about.
What is it called? Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
There we go.
And it was really, at the time, was like, ooh.
Yeah. Humans in a fascist, militaristic future.
Yes.
Wage war with giant alien bugs.
That's right. That's right. And Neil Patrick Harris saves the day. I think I know what I'm watching tonight. All right, Candace, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks, Gene.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Take a quick break, open up the Zoom room, and be right back.
Paul tells us in Galatians chapter 5 and verse 13, "For you've been called to live in freedom, but don't use your freedom to satisfy your sinful nature. Instead, use your freedom to serve one another in love." See, the passage is reminding us about a story, our life story, that we're committed to a new way of living, a new faith, to put away our old self. Don't be pulled into our old habits, but instead find a way to use my new freedom, that new freedom of Jesus who died for my sins, who lived that perfect life. But now he's saying, don't fall back into your old ways, but instead use that freedom to serve people in love. I know that in today's world that it is hard sometimes to do that. But if you want to learn how to, if you want to know how to, come visit us at the Hermosa Church of Christ and learn about serving others in love.
Double Up Days are back at Roswell Honda, and that means double your tax refund up to $2,000 right now. $1,000 gets you $2,000, $1,500 gets you $3,000, and $2,000, well, that gets you $4,000 towards your next vehicle at Roswell Honda, and that's on every make and model across the lot. Bring in your tax refund and let Roswell Honda double your refund up to $2,000. Now's the time to make your dollars go even further, and it all starts right here. Double Up Days are back at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hello, folks. Martin here from PRMI. That's right, Primary Residential Mortgage Incorporated. I've been waiting a while to reveal the great news that we've taken our parent company name and things are only getting better for Southern New Mexico. I'm excited to announce that everything we do will be handled in-house. I have a dedicated processing, underwriting, and closing team, thus streamlining our process or your purchase or refinance. When you're looking for an in-town lender or someone that will communicate with you one-on-one and give you straight answers, call me, 575-749-6278, or visit me online at martin.chooseprimeres.com. Remember, Martin at PRMI for your home finance.
PRMI is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 3094. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1815286.
Welcome back on Good Morning Artesia. Aaron is with us, and you must have been seeing some of the legislation that is working its way through our house. So basically, if I understand this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, mail-in balloting and putting basically into law ballot harvesting. Did that get passed by the House?
I think so.
All right. and then abortions anytime, anywhere, at any point, and gender affirming surgery where we chop off body parts off of kids has been basically put into New Mexico law.
Right.
Okay. All right. Did I miss anything?
Oh, you missed a whole bunch of gun ones. But,
okay. Yeah, the gun ones too. That's right.
Yeah, it's just these people that introduce them, they can't be sane because it's just the children one. You're allowing children to decide their gender and make life-altering decisions when they're children, and it's pretty ridiculous. And those people ought to be shot in the head that are putting that legislation in place, but that's just my opinion.
Well, and I think, do I know for a fact? No, but I read a lot. It sounds to me like some of the gender surgery stuff is driven by the parents. In other words, little Johnny was messing around in the closet and was playing around with my dresses. He must really be a girl, and so we're going to convince the kid that he's a girl, and we're going to go through that process, or vice versa. And I'm like, really? I remember there were tomboys that at that age you're still learning things, and
at that age you shouldn't set you for life of just because you're acting one way, then you're going to change when the hormones kick in and things and be normal eventually. But yeah, some as parents, and then they're also trying to take that take it away from parents even knowing about it when a child makes that type of decision. I think there's a lot of, some people trying to groom kids to be something else. But yeah, it's sad. It's very sad.
Well, and you're right, and that's the other aspect of it. If it is being driven by the parents, that's one thing, but I think that's a small percentage of it.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, don't tell mommy and daddy we're doing this. The parents don't have a right to know that we're doing this. Well, then fine. We might as well just tattoo them up and make them smoke, and hand out cigarettes through the classrooms. And you know, at the end of the day, you know where we go at the end of this process, Aaron? Let's give them a ballot and have them vote.
Oh yeah, because they know everything. They can change their sex, so why can't they vote?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why we don't have more adults who are just standing up and saying, you know, this is crazy. No, we are not going to do this. But it passed, or these things are passing.
Senate, so we hope the Senate has a little bit more sanity than the House, but this is New Mexico, so...
Yeah. Yeah, it's very frustrating, Aaron. It's very, very frustrating.
It is. It is. I can't imagine what Jim Townsend and Catherine Brown and all of them are, how they get through the day dealing with all these idiots. It's, I hand so much respect to them for all that they do. They go in there and they do the best they can against impossible odds and everything. So I do appreciate them for everything they do. I just can't imagine having to go against that many crazy people every single day.
It is, but that's where we're headed. And I was having a conversation about this with somebody yesterday, and what it looks like in America today is the red states are getting redder, and the blue states are getting bluer as people that have had enough are making the ultimate decision. We can't live here anymore. No matter our family is here, our history is here, this is a beautiful state, whatever. We can't deal with this anymore. I did see where Marjorie Taylor Greene was getting ripped on Twitter because she suggested that if you move into a state from a blue state, or any state for that matter, you have to wait 5 years before you can vote in that state that you move into. And she was being ripped, this is horrible, it's awful, I can't believe the people of Georgia elected her, how is this wacky woman on the Intelligence Committee? And I'm like, you and I have said similar things.
Yeah,
you move from California into New Mexico, you're going to live here for a little while before we give you a ballot. And by the way, it will be an actual ballot.
Yes, you give them to in person after you verify who you are, and you turn it in person, and
it will be counted by a person.
Yes,
but I don't think that's a crazy idea at all. And whether it's constitutional or not, that's remains to be determined. But no, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Like if you're in a blue state like California and you're proud of the fact that you've got, all of this stuff accomplished, and then all of a sudden a bunch of conservatives move in, do you want to give them ballots and let them vote in your elections? You'd rather have them be transitioned first. We used to say indoctrinated, but now it's, I'm sorry. That's terrible. I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube here for doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, well, let's laugh about something. What's funny out there today?
All right. For the first time in many years, an old man traveled from his rural town to the city to attend a movie. After buying his ticket, he stopped at the concession stand to purchase some popcorn. Handing the attendant $1.50, he couldn't help but comment, "The last time I came to the movies, popcorn was only 15 cents. "Well, sir," the attendant replied with a grin, "you're really going to enjoy yourself. We have sound now."
smart aleck. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Why did the kangaroo stop drinking coffee?
Why did the kangaroo stop drinking coffee? I don't know.
She got too jumpy. Okay, all right. That was a mini joke.
Mini joke, all right.
All right.
All right. A very angry woman stormed up to the receptionist's desk at a doctor's office. Someone stole my wig while I was having surgery yesterday, she complained. The doctor heard the commotion and came out and tried to calm her down. I assure you that no one on my staff would have done such a thing, he said. Why do you think it was taken here? Well, after the operation, I noticed the wig I was wearing was cheap-looking and ugly. I think, explained the surgeon gently, that means your cataract operation was successful.
Reminds me of another joke that I shouldn't tell on the air. But it had to do with hearing and smelling.
Yeah, I think I might have told that one time.
You may have. Pearls before swine. Rat goes to his neighbor. Hey, neighbor Bob. What do you need? Oh, Bob went to the rat's house.
Oh, okay.
And Bob says, well, since we're now in a new era of togetherness, I thought I'd try to find something we have in common. So this is Bob talking to the rat.
Okay.
The rat said the white-hot hatred of each other's politics. Rat goes back into pig. Bob and I have more in common than we thought.
Way to come to common ground.
Way to come to common ground. That's right. So, did you see where Mayor Pete went to see the train wreck?
He did?
He did. He was there this morning.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. He got there at 8 o'clock. He was there at 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. Or is that Central Time or Eastern Time?
I think it's Central.
Okay.
I'm not positive.
Okay. So he was there like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I got to hear some of the conversation. What I thought I heard was, this is a train, and these are the wheels, and the wheels run on the rails.
A Kamala type.
No, they were DOT people and Federal Railroad Administration people were there with them trying to explain what they knew at this point was the cause of the derailment. And Lana was asking me if the line was back open for trains, and while they were walking away from there, big old train went rolling past, so they've got the line back open and they're running trains through there. So
yeah, I think they had it back open like 24 hours after the crash. We're like, you worked really hard to get the line open, but what about our safety?
Exactly. Yes. I think a lot of people have questions, so we'll see how it goes. Do you have another one, or do we need to get into the report? Okay.
Plastic surgery used to be such a taboo topic for discussion. Now you can talk about Botox and nobody raises an eyebrow.
Because they can't. You look surprised. You still look surprised. My gosh, you are really surprised. Are you still surprised? So, all right. Let's see how the markets are doing today.
All right. This is Aaron Irving with LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Thursday, February the 23rd. Stocks seesawed today as traders tried to regain their footing following 4 straight losing sessions for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was up 0.1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average was just below the flat line. The NASDAQ composite fell marginally. Major averages started the day on a high note as a 13% rally in NVIDIA boosted tech stocks. The S&P 500 lost 0.2% yesterday, notching its longest losing streak since December. The Dow also fell, while the Nasdaq Composite posted a small gain. These moves came after the Federal Reserve released the minutes of its most recent meeting, which concluded on February 1st, showing that members of the central bank are resolved to keep fighting inflation with rate hikes. The minutes said inflation remained well above the Fed's 2% target, and the labor market remained very tight, contributing to the continuing upward pressure on wages and prices. This is a data-dependent Fed that focuses less on a forecast and more on each individual data point, said Brett Shute, Chief Investment Officer at Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management. SVB Securities upgraded Teladoc to outperform from market perform today, saying its bear thesis has been fully reflected in the shares and that a forward arc looks achievable. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 131 points to 32,913. The S&P 500 is 15 points lower at 3,975. And the Nasdaq Composite is off by 61 points to 11,445. West Texas Intermediate crude is up 88 cents a barrel to $74.83. Stocks of local interest. HF Sinclair is up 37 cents a share to $53.07. Walmart is down $3.11 to $141.13 a share. EOG Resources is up 66 cents a share to $118.22. And ConocoPhillips is 81 cents higher at $104.95 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley & Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day today.
All right, you do the same.
And Aaron will have the closing markets for us at 4:30, and I think we repeat it again like at 8:30 at night during the Clyde Lewis Show. But yeah, you can get all that up to date right here on KSVP. Sean Hannity has a thought on the news of the day, and we'll be right back with our museum segment.
Up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I don't think it's a terrible idea to give more power back to the states, and then Americans would probably choose in greater numbers. We see a mass migration now. Florida's taking in nearly 1,000 new residents a day. New York and California are losing about 1,000 residents a day, in large part because of governance and how bad it is, and high taxes and burdensome regulation. And people are leaving with their wallets and their feet, and they're moving to Texas, they're moving to Florida, they're moving to Tennessee, they're moving to the Carolinas in bigger and bigger numbers. The national divorce would be, taking away the power of the federal government, limiting that power, and giving more power to the states to decide.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
I want to remind you about something that you wouldn't think could happen, but it can, and it's people can steal your home. My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. They want to give you an absolutely free, no obligation verification that your home is still in your name. You register for 30 days of protection for free. Just go to HometitleLock.com, promo code Sean, an absolutely free, no obligation. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Sean.
Hey, we're back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show, and joining us now from the Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center is Mr. Michael Rebman. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are things at the museum? Nothing damaged by the wind that you know of so far?
There's a piece of trim that was pushed off of one of the buildings. I'll have to go and tack that back on. But other than that, no damage.
Well, that's fortunate because the wind the last few days has been pretty high, and I think a lot of folks are running around and checking if they have any shingles, still have shingles, or roof repairs, or if their patio furniture is in the next county. All that stuff. Hopefully it won't be so bad, but I think we're going to have some more wind next week, so that'll be something for us to deal with. Last few weeks we've been talking about political parties around the time of the Civil War and the origins of what is now the Republican Party. And you and I were talking about something else. Didn't get a chance to see what you wanted to talk about today, so I didn't know if you wanted to continue that or if you have a new journey for us today.
Well, I have a new journey, a really, really old journey, rather, going back to the 1600s in New Mexico. Let's talk about religious freedom.
Okay.
Or rather, back during the Spanish era, the lack of religious freedom.
Right.
Because that's when people think about, they think, of course, they think about how the colony was originally founded by Franciscan friars whose mission and job was to convert all the people in the pueblos to Catholicism. And that's how the colony got started. That's the origins of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something else really significant going on throughout the Spanish Empire. Something that people might not necessarily remember from reading, or even if it is brought up in schools at all. We all know that poem in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a second part. And the King of Spain expelled all the Jews.
That's in the poem?
Not the official poem, but...
Right, but that was part of what the mission was?
Well, that was in Spain in 1492. In fact, I think right before Columbus arrived in North America, that's when the kingdom of Castile and Aragon put out the Alhambra decree, which ordered all Jewish people in Spain to convert, leave, or die.
Wow.
And that's extended eventually to North America and South America when Spain established the colonies over here. And so the way that worked was that in the original decree, all Jewish people, there was a version for Muslim people that was put out a few decades earlier. They had 4 months to either leave Spain or become Catholic. And those who refused to do either would be executed. And the Spanish Inquisition that was formed was established to uphold that and to look throughout all society and see if people are not, sticking to Catholicism.
Right.
And that's extended to the Americas as well, to New Mexico. And in fact, that was during the struggle in New Mexico between indigenous religions and the Franciscan friars. There was, of course, the Inquisition was trying to root out any potential heresies and blasphemies, as they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And that caught up people living in New Mexico in the 1600s.
What were some of the religions that were here in what is now New Mexico that the Spanish were trying to eliminate?
Well, all the pueblos had their own religions that had existed for thousands of years, that they had developed independently of anything going on over in Europe. However, 1600s, and interestingly enough, the Inquisition was not allowed to persecute indigenous people.
Okay.
That was a decree put out by the king, mostly out of sort of a condescending paternalism, on the belief that indigenous people of the Americas weren't fully capable of becoming Christians. They weren't, as the king put it, they weren't smart enough.
Mm-hmm.
Very condescending, sort of racist way to look at it, but in reality, the Franciscan friars here in New Mexico didn't learn the local languages of the Pueblos, so the resulting religions that appeared at the Pueblos were a blending of Christianity and indigenous religions, creating this sort of a unique religion on its own, as they tried to reconcile two completely different worldviews into one. But the Inquisition was looking out for people, because there were people, not non-Spanish people from Europe, who were moving to the Americas as well. And they had to become Catholic if they weren't already. So that's one thing that the Inquisition was looking for. And they had a responsibility as well of enforcing state laws, or government laws, secular laws, in New Mexico when it was the governor who might have been violating them. But they were also looking for people whose grandparents and great-grandparents had converted to Catholicism who might not have fully stayed with it. They were looking for, as the Inquisition called it, they were looking for secret Jews. And very notable cases included, in fact, one of the governors of New Mexico, Bernardo Lopez de Mendizabal, who his grandparents, great-grandparents were Jewish. He was a governor here, appointed by the viceroy to be the governor of the New Mexico colony, and he fought with the friars over the extent to which the church or the state would have legal control over the colony. And so the friars sent accusations to the Inquisition about his behaviors, and including rumors that he was secretly Jewish because he was bathing more frequently than everybody else, and that's one of the things that's important in Jewish religion, as opposed to medieval Catholic religion.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be clean. And he was cleaning himself. He was actually bathing.
And that was a sign that he may have not stuck with his Catholic training and maybe reverting back to his family's religious upbringing.
Yes.
Wow. So who did they? So where was this Inquisition office? Was this in Spain? Did they have to send everything back to Spain, or did they have Inquisition offices in the United States, or what is now the United States, in the Americas at the time?
Well, the friars, the Franciscan friars at the Pueblos, at the missions, they had warrants from the Inquisition to act as agents of the Inquisition, but all trials were held by a sort of a regional office in Mexico City.
Okay.
And so the way it worked was they would have, they made their accusations in writing. They sent them off to the inquisitorial dungeons in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
They would compile them. They would interview witnesses. They'd come up with charges. They'd arrest the person. Then they'd have a trial with witness statements and investigations. And in the case of people accused of secretly being Jewish, they would have them drop their drawers and do physical examinations.
Right.
And Then they would come up with charges, or come up with they would have a verdict. It was a legal process that would take some time, especially for someone as important as a colonial governor.
Mm-hmm.
It could draw out for years. And in the meantime, the Inquisition confiscated all of his property, used his money to pay for legal expenses. So all the expenses that the prosecutors had, he paid for. And the outcome of these trials, the first, if they're convicted, they would lose, they'd have to pay heavy fines, they would be banned from any sort of government job. They couldn't serve in the Spanish army. They had to do public penance, a lot of public humiliation. They'd lose social status and social standing. But what was really brutal was if they were convicted a second time of the same thing, the Inquisition had a two-strike rule.
Mm-hmm.
Your first conviction, you had to go through all that penance, real expensive. Second conviction for the same offense, you would be executed. And if you confessed before the trial, they would simply strangle you to death. But if you forced them to go through a trial the second time around and were found guilty, then they would set up a bonfire in front of City Hall and just burn you to death.
Right then and there. So what happened to this territorial governor? You'd indicated that there were accusations raised against him.
The trial took so long that he died in prison.
So he escaped. He escaped that fate anyway. Couldn't have been a pleasant life in prison at the time, I'm sure.
Oh no, especially because the Inquisition was allowed to torture people to get information.
Wow. That's truly amazing. I can't imagine that this conversion process was extremely popular in the territories where this was going on, but I'm guessing the Spanish army would back up the friars and the religious people doing this.
Well, that's part of the fighting between the governors and the friars. The governors did not want that.
Mm-hmm.
They were interested in, governing territory, dealing with international relations, because the French were moving into Texas. A lot of different indigenous tribes that were trying to sign treaties with the Spanish. Spanish were looking into how to expand their colonial holdings, and the friars were distracting them with missions and conversions and all that. And because of that, that led to fighting. In fact, Bernardo Lopez de Mendizabal, he was accused and sent off to the inquisitorial dungeons, but so was his successor, Diego Dionisio de Peñalosa. The governor right after him had the same fate. He was accused because he did not want to do what the friars wanted. He wanted to focus on governing. So he was accused of blasphemy and heresy, arrested, convicted, banned from government jobs, and he eventually left Spain and the Spanish colonies altogether.
So while these governors were in these jails, who was running the territory at the time then?
Their successors. Part of being a governor was that after you finished your term as a governor, you had to stay in Santa Fe, while your successor would do a full audit of the term of office, and then the successor would be sent back to Mexico, to Mexico City, where the findings of the audit would be given to the Viceroy's office, and then they would determine whether or not the governorship was good or not. So it was a process where the Inquisition inserted themselves, but those sort of things would happen anyway.
Sure.
The key difference, of course, is that the governors were were always investigated for improprieties in payroll and funding and all that, while the Inquisition was looking for people who had their own personal religious beliefs.
I wonder why anybody would want to be a territorial governor, given that those are the two most likely situations that you would have to deal with.
It was extremely profitable.
Okay.
When you're the governor, this is, keep in mind too, this is medieval Spain. This is still, well, post-medieval Spain. It's counter-Reformation era.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very feudal. It's not, there's no professional civil servants like there are today. So if you're the governor, there's a lot more ability to engage in corruption and to engage in business on the side, acquire lands, appoint yourself as a count or a baron, and just gain a lot of money. But as long as you didn't think for yourself, you were good.
It's amazing time in the history of the world and in this part of the world. And this was primarily in the 1600s, you said?
Yes, 1664 was when that first governor died in the jails.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, his successor was also arrested and sent to the jail as well.
Wow, that's just
but it was
amazing story.
It was something going on in all of medieval Europe. They were trying to force all the Jewish people to convert or leave. And Spain just held out the longest because the Moorish kingdoms held out for so long.
Right. Gosh, this is and if you know this, if you learn about this, it makes a better understanding of what was motivating the founding fathers when they were trying to create the Constitution that would govern what is now the United States of America. Because this is not ancient history to them, but it was recent history for that time period. And
it was not even recent history. It was actively going on.
Actively going on.
Founding fathers were doing their things in the 1770s, and the Spanish Inquisition was still active in the 1770s.
That's right. Michael, we're out of time for today.